Welcome to the Check the Woods podcast. Today with special guests Paul and Mike from the Heat Check podcast, and Patrick and Charles from the Boys in the Woods. Today we will circle around with the NFL draft prospects, top quarterbacks, top running backs, top wide receivers, and of course, to finish it all off, the sexy sensual, our top 10 picks. Oh yeah, baby. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome back, boys. What the hell? What the hell? What the hell? Right? Exactly. 100% every day. Give everything you got.
It is what it is.
I feel like we just got an intro to
an intro to an intro.
Yeah, like it was
to
like
an adult movie.
It was like
like the 70s vibe. Like
yes, the 70s porno.
I feel like my ears just went to a 3D movie at Disneyland.
Hey, maybe that's what I was going for with that. You know?
Voice sounded like a skinny white Barry White.
And on the radio.
I was like, man,
and on the radio,
Smooth Jazz Fridays coming at you hot. Double XM 300.
88.5 the coast, smooth
I'm
jazz.
gonna clip that, especially with you with your glasses on and this little Hawaiian shirt you got on. Like, bro,
did you see him? He had like the rubber band on it earlier. He looked like Chong from Cheech and Chong up in smoke.
That's funny.
oh, man.
Coming at you from the island of cool, breezy, lemon squeezy, pippity pap. Coming at you with this slick jack tater tot. How's everyone been?
Speaking of haterade.
Big shout out. Big shout out on the green currently. Scotty Scheffler about to win his second Masters. It looks
he's going to finish this, like you said, before the baby comes.
Yep, it looks like he's on the green. He's got multiple putts to win. He's at 11 under.
What course are they playing?
Masters, the Augusta.
The Augusta.
Georgia?
Do you think daughter Augusta?
Georgia.
Is it a
what do you name it, Augusta? Yeah, that's a good one.
You're always on my
Listen,
mind.
if he wins, that child will forever be the good luck charms. Like, hey,
Oh yeah, I mean he's
that baby's coming with him to every golf tournament he's in.
Every major, he's
that baby is I mean that baby is going to survive alone off of a second Masters win. You know? Yeah. So, which brings us to a fun question, a fun topic. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but we did mention this. So Scotty was asked a little bit as it was going. All right, listen, 17th hole, right, or the 18th hole. You're on the green. You get the call. You got the lead. Your wife's in labor. Your baby's about to be born. What do you do? Scotty says, "I'm leaving." Right? Tournament over. Second place now wins. So, and it brought up a little bit of discussion on the radio show I was watching, and I figured, to me, it was almost a no-brainer. Like, I'm going to finish the Masters. I'll be there when I get there. I that may seem a little dark, but we'll pass it around the table, see what everybody thinks.
I mean, if you're at the point he is now, where you're on, your final hole, then you finish the Masters. But
let's just say even the tee box, maybe not the green. You got one putt. All right, you got the tee box. You're walking up to the tee box and you get that call. Do you keep walking?
You finish that hole, because that hole is going to make you however many millions of dollars, and your wife is probably going to be pissed off at you, but that millions of dollars is going in the bank account. She'll be fine.
That's what I'm thinking.
But if you have two or more holes, if you have more than one hole to go, you back off and say, "Look, I gotta go see my kid." Like,
I'll say this. There's various conditions to this answer.
There always is.
If I'm on the very last hole, I'm sorry, babe. I'll see you when I see you.
Yeah.
What do they say? It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yeah.
Give me my child. If I'm in
there
the
it
back,
is. It's over.
Like if I'm like, even if I'm in like 3-4 holes left, if I have a substantial lead, where even if I can give up these holes and still win, I'm walking away. Like, if I got a comfortable gap where I'm not worried about these last 4 holes, I'm okay.
Yeah.
If I only did the first 9 and I still got the back 9 to go, I'm like, babe, now, will you be upset? I promise you I'll get you a little Gucci bag, whatever kind of bag you want. We can get whatever stroller you want, whatever crib you want. I promise you I'll make up for it. I'll take you to any vacation trip. This is a Masters. This is a major. I'm like, this is a major championship. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what kind of mojo you can get moving from this. I'm like, we can have another kid. We can do it again. We can try again next year.
So first kid or second kid? Patrick, what do you think? Let's get you on this.
Well, I agree with both of them. I mean, that it's that last hole thing. If you have two, 3 holes left, you're bouncing out of there because you don't know how long it's going to last. Hell, you could shank one because you get the call, and then you're completely out of it, and then you kind of just walk off the course anyway because you're not recovering from that anyway. So
Yeah.
I agree. I guess final thought. If we're talking Friday, there's still Saturday and
golf.
Sunday.
What about speed golf?
I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
Oh yeah, there's a whole day. There's a whole 18 holes left. Yeah, for
36.
Sure.
Yeah, 36.
Wow, hell, 36. Yeah.
As long as I make the cut, I'm like, you can make up that gap and make up for it if it's on a Friday type deal. I'm with you on that one.
So let's go. So to add a little color to it, then we'll move on. What's your cutoff? For me, if I finish 9 holes on Saturday with the lead or in second place, I'm playing the final 9 and at least, well, I'm playing the final 9. You know, like if I get the call, I'm playing the final 9. Well, here's the kicker though. You're in Augusta. Is the baby in California? Are we talking?
Well, if
I'm assuming that she's there.
If he's
What,
in
that
the
pregnant? She ain't
Masters-
flying.
No, she ain't flying. If he's in the Masters, the PGA will fly him on a private jet, so it doesn't matter. He'll get back to where he needs to go. That I don't think that's a factor.
So I finish the 9 holes, get on a jet, kissy, lovey, go back
And claim your title and get
Play
that
at
money.
least-
another baby here.
play at least 9 holes to see how life is, right? Is my mind back on the Masters, or am I back with my child? And then I guess move waves from there.
I think even if that was the scenario where he would have left on a Friday, whatever the case, or even a Saturday, you finished the Saturday game and you still got you're within the top 4, and you had to leave after the front 9, and you just missed out on the back 9, and I'm still within top 3, top 5. I'm like, my mind is, my baby's here. These little fuckers are expensive. I need to win this shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, especially California. I think it's over $2 million now to raise a kid through college.
Oh, that's easy. That doesn't surprise me at all.
Growing up, I think for us it was like 275,000. I think it was like 2 from 0 to 18.
$2 million doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, just like the last time, I've only been to California one time, and I'll never go again. The one time I was there, dude, it was like fucking $12 a gallon for No, it's ridiculous. Like, fuck that. And that was 10 years ago.
California is so interesting, bro. Patrick, have you ever noticed you get 2 reactions when California is brought up? That's it. This is whether you live there or you don't live there.
Some people like it. Some people hate it. Well, everybody we've ever interviewed from there hates it.
Everybody's like, I'm not going there. And the people who do live there are like, well, we don't go here specifically.
Yeah, we just it was more like we just deal with it and we live there, and they're used to it.
Man, in the 90s, California was hipping.
Listen, the last time
it was a lot of cocaine and cowboys.
I went to California to go visit. I got family out there, and we went out there. Me and my sister just got out the military. We went out there for like a week, and we went to go see one of my uncles out there, and he lived in a garage apartment where a family still lived there.
Apartment?
They converted the garage into an apartment, but the family was still living there. His rent, this is just rent
for the garage,
just for the garage, was $1,200 a month.
Yeah,
holy shit. Yeah, that'll put you over the edge.
My cousins, their 2-bedroom apartment was almost $2,000.
Yeah,
I'm like, you guys are bugging out.
that's crazy. I paid 12 for a 3-bedroom apartment.
Excuse me.
I thought I was priced up.
I was trying to wet the whistle and I ended up choking the dragon.
Well, that's the deal. I believe New York City has this crazy. There's a crazy show. It's like New York City Apartments or something on like Lifetime, one of those channels, and like they show like these tiny little apartments, literally not much wider than my table.
It's 800 square feet.
Yeah. We're paying $4,000 a month for it.
Yeah.
When the wife and I was living in a hotel waiting to down by the river, which is funny, it was by a river, but we were living in the hotel. We were Googling like best places to live, right? And then we were like, oh, best places to live in America. And 100% of the time, if the list had any California anywhere on it, I deemed it trash and moved on. I found a new list. So moving on to our new
California's
list.
not on that list anymore.
Baseball. We've got a lot to talk about with baseball. And before we get into one of our favorite topics,
We only got one thing to talk about in baseball.
Well, we got one thing to elaborate on. We do want to. Would like to touch on a few things. I'll pull up the power rankings here in a second. But the New York Yankees 12-4.
Doesn't matter. They'll shit the bed like they have for the last 12 fucking seasons. So how long before that happens?
Let's calm down on the Yankee slander. 27 World Series. That's all I'm saying.
Let it go. You sound like a Cowboys fan.
How many of them happened in the last 50 years? Like maybe like 8 of them.
One.
Yeah. In the last 50 years, like 8, I think.
Listen.
Yeah.
Hold on. I will not.
2009 was cool. 2009 was cool. But
They won like 11 in a row back in like the 1905.
Yankees, I will not allow Yankee slander coming from a person whose last championship before this one was 108,000 years ago.
I don't claim to have the best organization.
Plus or minus 3 zeros.
And they had to ride on a goat to get there.
Listen,
exactly. Washington crossed the Delaware sooner.
Forget about my Cubbies all you want.
Washington crossed the Delaware.
The New York Yankees do the same thing every fucking year.
Look, I'm not even.
They cost how much? How much is their roster? Like almost $2 billion, $3 billion.
Yeah.
They can't come up with nothing.
Injuries have played a part in their demise over the last 4 or 5 years.
So is coaching. Charles, let's just be honest. This team, you're
ownership.
talking about a team that made their porches and left and right shorter so that they could go out and get power hitters so that they would score more home runs to get more people in the seats because they were losing. That's what they did. They came out and Steinbrenner came out and said that's what they did. They did that for a reason, so they would get more home run balls. So more fans would be able to get home. I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
This ain't the Yankees of
No, it's not.
I understand that, to be honest with you. The last baseball game I was at, we saw Contreras hit 2 home runs. I think there were 2 more Brewer home runs, and there was
they fly out of that
one
stadium.
or two.
That's a hitter's ballpark.
Oh my God, dude! But it's baseball. When you're there, them home runs go off, and then the Clam had the ceiling shut, so fireworks
smacking
going
off.
Oh my God, it was so. It's electric, so I get it. I mean, I get it.
I've never. The last time I really was into baseball is probably around the '90s Yankees, like Derek Jeter. What's his nuts? Alex Rodriguez, CC Sabathia was later, but Mariano Rivera, Jorge Posada, stuff like that. Like
technically, he was the Indians first.
Yeah.
You mean what do they call themselves now? They're not even the Indians.
Cleveland Guardians, who are tied with the.
Please don't cancel me.
So the Cleveland Guardians are tied right now with the Kansas City Royals. The Kansas City Royals were picked to win. What is it? I think 75 games, and I thought that was too much. But Bobby Witt Jr. is looking like the all-star. Many people said he was going to be out loud. I believe most people have him picked to perform better than Jose Altuve, who the Houston Astros are being the Houston Astros they normally are.
Charles, here's the problem. They play 162 games. You're talking about like a 14-game.
Hold on.
Right now.
How am I projecting this conversation? We're just talking about where they are right now.
About the damn Royals already, and that's where 75 games. Trust me, they can go on a streak where they can lose 30 to 40 games straight. They are the Royals. So.
Okay, this is where I've already exhausted.
Let's get right to the gambling thing. That's what we want to talk about. Let's get right to the gambling thing. Shohei Ohtani, gambling. Pete Rose. Oh no.
Pete Rose looks like a saint compared to what's happening to Shohei Ohtani.
Well, the problem is Pete Rose knew he was fucked when he got caught, and he said, "You know what?
I did it.
Shohei Ohtani is never, ever going to admit it because you got to think about that. Like in that culture, dishonor is a ginormous thing, right? Like I don't know if it's that deep why he'll never admit it, but we'll never hear a complete confession from Otani, even if he did do it. I think he did it.
Is his interpreter a Japanese citizen or an American citizen?
I don't know.
I think he's Japanese.
Oh, he's fucked if he's Japanese then.
Yeah, he's going back to Japan. There's
Oh shit, that's not good. He's gonna. And someone said, "Where's his bookie? Where's the bookie in all this?"
It's Shohei Ohtani.
Stupid. I would Shohei his own bookie. You know what? It's probably a guy that has a guy that's insulated from the outside of another guy. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know anybody who can bankroll the kind of money as a bookie. And yeah, I don't know about you, but I would agree. We can go around the table. You lost that kind of money, you're not just losing your legs.
No,
doesn't matter what your bankroll
That's not
is.
something you can work off.
You don't float anybody who bets money millions of dollars.
Nope.
Unless that person has billions of dollars.
Oh, you're gonna disappear.
Yeah.
Just not in the way you thought you was gonna disappear.
Yeah. There will not be witness protection. It will be people projecting pieces of you throughout the continental United States.
I mean, that's a lot of money that you lose. Like you said, Pat, like
well,
no bookie is gonna kind of just let that just slide like that and be okay with it and be like, I got you.
Well, let's take the crypto guy, for example. Right? He lost all those people, all that money, right? Bankman-Fried or whatever. Is that what his name is? Yeah, anyway, he lost almost $1 billion or $2 billion worth of money for people. Like when it was all said and done, like I think it just was a huge, like it went right down the fucking mountain. He lost all that money. But yeah, that dude had the feds not like protected his ass, he would have been dead somewhere. Someone would have got a hold of him. He would have been gone. He's in prison now, so he'll disappear. But
it's sad. I'm like, but I don't have no pity for Shohei right now as far as like, because if he did it and he's trying to like push this on somebody else to catch the heat because you just didn't know what the fuck he was doing with your money.
That's scumbag. That's like, scumbag shit.
That's douchebag stuff right there.
Yeah, I can't. There's whatever happens to Otani. I don't think we'll ever hear a true confession.
No, we'll never get the truth. It's covered up for sure now. Yeah. Whether the truth was, Ippei, Matsuhara, or whatever his name is, or if it's actually Shohei. If one thing we can almost guarantee is that Shohei was the bankroll. Oh, he knew there was money missing. You can't tell me he didn't know money was missing. No way.
That's even to a person who's making $100 million, that kind of money. The amount that went missing out of his bank is noticeable.
In a year,
like your financial advisor is going to tell you something. The team's going to find out. Like somebody's going to get in contact with you and say, "Look, what the fuck is going on?"
I believe it was only like from December 22 to like January 23. Or no, it was a year. It was a whole year, almost a year. So $16 million in a year.
I can't buy Shohei as a victim. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, there's certain ways I could, but it doesn't. None of those ways present themselves. Like if he presented as somebody who's fantastically gifted athletically, but had like Asperger's syndrome or a form of autism, I could see somebody taking advantage of him, and he just doesn't have that kind of business mind. I get that, but that doesn't seem to be the case. It's never been brought up. It's never been mentioned. So I can't buy Shohei as a victim in this. You're a fucking grown ass man.
Charles, he doesn't get a pass from you either.
No, he never will.
I could see the disgust on your face the entire time as we're rolling through this.
It just doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense. We don't know any facts either, but it just doesn't make sense.
You're gonna sit here and tell me as much money as you make. You're not gonna sit here and tell me you don't have somebody of intelligence monitoring every single penny that's coming in and out of your account, and you're just gonna be like, "Hey,
okay. Here's what you do know: the feds came out and said that he didn't even set up his own bank account. They said that Ippei set up his bank account. So technically, they're saying no. This is what I'm saying. These are what the feds said. The feds said that he set up the bank account for Shohei. So he was technically in charge of it because he said Shohei didn't know who to trust. So he trusted Ippei or whatever. How do you say his name? This is gonna really kill me. But he set up the bank account for Shohei. This is how the feds are saying that he was in charge of the money. So that's why he took advantage of Shohei.
You know what this reminds me of? that incident with Lonzo and his dad and that friend that they had, he was like stealing money. He stole like $1 million or $2 million out of Lonzo.
Oh, from the shoe deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big baller bullshit.
Like, it's almost like, how do you not see it?
Right.
And that dude still wants Lonzo to go back with Big Baller Brand. Shohei
Ohtani's not fooling anybody, but I'm with y'all. He's never going to admit it. It's impossible for him to want to admit it. I get it, but we can see through the lines. You may not want to admit it, but we see the bullshit.
Yeah, it's like, this is where like places like ESPN and Fox News kind of frustrate me, because it's like, look, you guys I'm split.
Charles and I have said it a million times. You can say it.
This is why I'm split, right? Because I know now through the stuff that I go, the schooling and stuff, I know what it takes to be a reporter, to write your own scripts. So you have to try to get headlines, but you also have to try to present facts unbiasedly and not offend people and not assume guilt, right? So I get the kind of the bind that they're in, but at the same time, it's like, man, y'all are softballing these stories. To me, it feels like you're not saying, like, you can't accuse Shohei of being involved. You don't have any proof. That's bad journalism. That's shit journalism. It's just clickbait. But you also don't have to play it off as if Shohei's a victim. And I think ESPN and Fox News, Fox Sports, and even YouTube and the MLB are making him out to be more of a victim than he actually is. And it kills me.
All of them.
It kills me.
It's annoying.
It's bad journalism. It's fucking shitty journalism. But again, I'm just a college student and I'm just learning about this. So, take my opinion with a grain of salt. But it just kills me when some people, I watch, whatever it is, like fucking Sports Center or whatever, or clips on YouTube, and I just see him like, oh yeah, the Shohei Ohtani case.
It's bad optics.
What are you gonna do? I mean, the corporate masters are crazy. I mean, that's why the dude at ESPN, what is his name, Kirby or Colby or whatever, is going away. One of the senior people like had beef with Pat McAfee and is all this other trouble he's going through. So
that's like the Disney guy though. That's the guy at Disney that's in charge of the ESPN. That's the other thing that people don't realize. It's not ESPN, it's Disney.
Yeah, fall under that.
Disney runs the show.
They fall under that banner.
Yeah.
And
Mike
can only
Triplett.
do so much.
Mike Triplett.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a golfer.
Yeah,
Craig Triplett.
But it appears that his time with the worldwide leader in sports,
you don't mess with
coming
Pat,
to an end.
man. You don't mess with
on
Pat.
Wednesday, Triplett announced that today will be his final day at ESPN.
And I'm sure a lot of people were sad about that, right?
Well, Pat McAfee's got a lot of powerful friends in a lot of different companies, including WEMI and WWE, and
Pat he's got his hands in a lot of different things.
Yeah, Pat McAfee's a good dude. He's just a good person.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's got this situation where some people are poison and some people are antidotes, right? Like I might be your poison, but for many others, I'm their antidote. That type of situation. And
the other
Pat
problem
McAfee is a charity donating fool. I mean, if
but
that
they
dude
can't
can make
put their
money
hand
for
on
something,
him. They got no dirt on this guy. That's like, I think that's where you're getting to. They got no dirt on him. He's clean.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
they got no control over him.
What do you want him to do? He's got FU money.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get an FU personality. So if you step on an FU person's toes, you're gonna get the FU, right? But I mean, he goes at life from the outside looking in. It doesn't matter what I think, but he's got the FU mindset with I want to make the world a better place than it was when I got here after I leave type mentality.
And that mentality and that approach is what gained him the friends that he has, and the ability to go from a ESPN show to an NFL Network show to WWE to being on UFC to doing like the dude he's a fantastic dude, but it just goes to show you, like you were saying, Check, like you piss off the wrong person who doesn't give a shit, you're gonna find out what pissing off the wrong person feels like. And
Because this is the thing, Pat McAfee can leave ESPN today, and he would still have a successful show with or without ESPN.
Fox News, Fox Sports would sign him.
Even if he doesn't go to another network, the amount of followings that he has already, just because of what his personality, he doesn't need a network. A network needs him more than he needs the network.
He could, but I hope he didn't sign some kind of crazy sell your soul type deal
Well,
to
no,
ESPN
I
to get that $30 million a year contract.
Well, here's the kicker. From a contractual side of things, right? You got to think about it from both ways. Both sides come to the table with the backing of I don't need you, you need me.
Right.
As much as ESPN does need Pat McAfee, ESPN doesn't need Pat McAfee. And the one thing we can absolutely just go into any sports bar, go into any bar, go into any airport, go into any
they're gonna have it on
store.
TV. Yeah.
Absolutely. You could put a duck on ESPN for 43 hours and it would be the most watched duck on television for 43 hours. So when you both have that scenario, I promise you the contract's like, listen, if you leave us abruptly, you can't do radio or television for X amount of years.
Yeah,
you can't utilize. Yeah, you
there's
can't.
some kind of contract.
We own your NIL for X amount of time. So if you leave, it's still going to have to contractually fall out. A good example of this would be like bakers, right? If you're working for a bakery, you more or less end up signing a piece of paper that says if you leave for a year, you can't go work for our competition.
A non-compete clause. That's what lawyers have that. Just about if you go to any major law firm, most lawyers are going to have a non-compete clause, whether it's in the city, the state, or in somewhere in the area. You can't.
Well,
work
Ronnie Deutsch.
They wouldn't hold up in an international or a national non-compete. There's no such thing. They can't stop you from making money. But if they said yes, you can't do it on, you couldn't go to satellite radio or something, they could do that.
Now here's the kicker. If he signed it, yes, they can.
They can't stop you from making money.
They can't stop you from making money, but they can stop you from the ways you utilize to make money. Absolutely, that's exactly what that piece of paper is.
Yeah, but with the non-compete clause,
it doesn't. Non-competes don't hold up very much. Look it up; they don't hold up in court very often.
Well, with the non-compete clause, there's a giant threshold to pass.
No, it's true, Charles. You look it up; they don't hold up for shit.
You have
it doesn't matter to me.
You have to meet a certain level of threshold with non-competes. And if one
thing don't A, B don't work, then they throw it out.
Yeah, because you can only restrict somebody for I think it's up to 180 days at a time per type of employment. The only reason I know is because I had to fight a non-compete when I was trying to work at a pawn shop for my old gun store. The gun store general manager made us sign a non-compete, and I had to take it to a VA lawyer, and they were like, no, this is bullshit. You can't restrict somebody for 2 years from working for a place that sells guns. Like, that's not okay. So
the only thing I agree with Charles
I did say X amount of time.
The media.
I didn't say 10 years.
No. I get what you're saying. The media aspect, they can literally, I don't know what they call that when they slap the old thing on you where you can't talk.
NDA.
The non-disclosure, yeah.
Well, it's that, but it's like a gag order type deal.
Yeah.
They can slap that on him. That could be part of the contract too. Yeah, well, he can't just be like, he literally can't go talk about any of the shit that he talked about at ESPN. They would just be like, you can't talk about that. Then he'd be like, well, shit, what can I talk about?
It's like copyright or something like that. You can't talk about this because it's like you're letting out trade secrets, almost like type deal.
Well, here's the thing. Most of the money that he's made came from ESPN. Like, he did not make that much when he was doing it himself. He already signed a mega deal. He signed a mega deal.
Who did he sign for? Who did he sign with before this ESPN deal and then backed out?
FanDuel.
FanDuel. He did a little FanDuel,
like $100 million deal or some shit like that.
I think he was part of the crew that started Barstool.
Yeah, I think so. Originally, originally,
I don't know, Barstool's been around for like 10 years, though. Are you sure he was part of that?
Yeah, he's about to look it up.
I thought they brought him in after they started Barstool.
Maybe.
Don't get quiet while I'm looking it up.
Quiet, don't be quiet.
Keep talking about other things
I
here
thought
for a
Dave
second.
Portnoy started it with like 4 guys back like in 2014 or 13 or something. Anyway, I guess it doesn't really matter. But
Talking about a scumbag, that fucking guy.
Dave, no, he's got Miss Peaches, man. Miss Peach Charles, Miss Peaches. Walking around with money. He's got that FU money.
Yo, he definitely has that FU money. He just comes off. I don't know. Maybe it's because he's from Boston.
He gambles. He gambles like $1 million on like whether or not like did you see he bet like $1 million on somebody's gender reveal on like TikTok or something? He didn't even know what it was.
That's weird.
he's just
That's weird.
That's kind of funny.
That's not fuck you money. That's fuck you and your family money.
Yeah, but it's life-changing money.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
of course.
for them.
And for $1 million, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. He probably
Yeah.
gave it to him either way. He's a nice guy sometimes.
That's ridiculous.
Charles, did you get us an answer here?
Yeah, he joined in 2020. He retired from football to join Barstool Sports. He must have helped make it famous.
Yeah,
Well,
probably.
he definitely helped make it famous. We'll
It
give him
was a
that.
Comedy Central thing. But yeah.
Yeah, because he was what? He tried his hand at being a comedian for a hot minute there after out of the NFL. Because then he went to then he had his WWE deal.
He's still
where he
there.
had the wrestling match.
And still
Well,
there,
he pops in every now and then, yeah.
No, now he's
He's
full
back
time.
full-time. Since Vince left, he's
Well,
back
he's
full-time.
full time, like not a full time wrestler, but he's commentary.
No. Yeah, he wrestles every now and then, but he's full-time
Yeah.
commentary every now and again.
Yeah, he's full time. Yeah, he's
funny
commentary.
as
That's
shit,
his
yo.
That's his UFC
Yeah.
thing there. It's kind of cool. I like it. I love what Triple H is doing with WWE. Absolutely love it.
That's good. Dope.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun to watch. It allows for enjoyable conversations throughout family members.
Yeah, absolutely. The changes are great.
Well, speaking of changes, Charles.
Yes.
Oh, David Bowie reference. I appreciate that.
No, we can talk about a couple things. A few things have changed in sports since the last time that we spoke. OJ passed away. You did see you saw a video that got taken down immediately that I
Of
posted.
course it did.
That I posted on TikTok.
When do you not post something and piss somebody off?
That's
Oh, of
funny
course,
shit.
every time. But the reason it got taken down is not the reason that you would think. The reason it got taken down was because because it showed the court thing. Even though I took the background out with the gloves and everything, that was the image that somebody flagged. Like, of all the things, come on, man.
They're mad about a photo.
Yeah, there wasn't even anybody's face other than OJ's in there.
Now the whole situation.
I called Tom Gore as a clown, and Facebook banned
That's
me for
true,
being a
Charles.
bully
You got
and,
put in
and harassment.
Facebook jail for a fucking year because of some stupidity.
Yeah.
I need you to elaborate.
That whole situation.
No.
though, that whole
Charles
OJ
will go
situation.
through it for you. Oh, the OJ situation?
Yeah, that whole situation can be summed up in 2 words. Fuck them.
Did you hear the latest, though? That he
What?
made his kids sign an NDA before they went and saw him on his deathbed?
For what?
Oh, that means he definitely
Barstool posted this. It was
he definitely confessed to killing their mom.
yeah, well, I don't know if it was that. Someone was talking about the kid, the oldest son or whatever. Like, he was a chef and he hated her. He hated Nicole. I don't know. That was a lot of the comments that were on there.
That's why.
I mean, we're never gonna know unless he tells the truth. So, well, he's dead now. So
I mean, he lost the civil court case.
he did. And then he also went bankrupt, and he also broke in and tried to beat a bunch of people up for selling his memorabilia, which I think did they steal from him, or did they buy it? They lowballed him when he was in prison or something, and then bought it, and he went to go steal it back. I don't know. It was such a weird fucking
Yeah, that
thing.
whole fucking thing was weird, but
Did you ever watch the video where he breaks in at gunpoint to steal his stuff back?
I heard that.
It's kind of fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That
No. I to be honest with you, I remember
He's been out of the spotlight for you for a while.
Yeah, I remember the Bronco on the television, and then I vaguely remember hearing that he got out of jail or prison or something, and I had 110% forgot about the trial.
Yeah,
And then,
I guess
and then
I
he
brought
died,
it back
and
up
I'm
for
like,
everybody.
Oh, holy shit! All right. I mean,
All right.
honestly, the pre-1994 OJ or
yeah.
Thaniel, and the after 1994 OJ are two completely different worlds.
The price of his autographed football jersey with the Bills and the price of his autographed football with the Bills, you literally could have found him on eBay about 2 years ago for about 1/25th of the price of what they went for 25 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's deservedly so.
Speaking of fun times and big money things, I talked to Charles earlier before we started the show, and we're going to do a round robin with our top five. You guys all did top fives. Charles is going to go off the top of his head with his because he already knows whose his is. I want to lead off with Charles on this one. Quarterbacks off the top of your head, Charles, for the NFL draft. You can rank your number one. We'll go around with our number ones. And you don't have to give us a reason if you don't want to.
No,
I already know that
my,
you probably have about 9 of them because you always bring more to the table than everybody else because you have to be the one-upper.
Yeah.
Gotta show us out.
Come on, yeah.
I don't know. I took a bunch of notes too. So
I mean, my number one.
I kept it to the rules. Like you put them out.
Hey, there's no rules. You guys know this. We don't go by rules.
My number one is Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams is my number one. I mean, I think we're all consensus.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams.
He's my number one too.
Yeah,
Going to the Carolina Bears, right?
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Yeah,
That's what people keep calling them, the Carolina Bears.
Hopefully they don't play like them.
So I have him as Caleb Williams, Caleb Pink Phone Williams. That's what I have him in there as.
oh my god.
So number 2.
I pray to God that
Number
he
two.
smashes y'all.
Number 2 off the top of your head, Charles.
yeah. I like Drake May. I like Drake May.
You
over
like
Jaden
Drake
Daniels.
May?
Yeah,
He's a big Jake May.
yeah.
I'm going
Man.
Jaden Daniels.
I like Drake May.
I got Jaden Daniels.
I got Jaden, not quite Lamar Daniels. I knew Charles was going to like some of these names. Wait till we get down to the bottom. Wait till we get down to the bottom of some of these guys.
I'm excited.
Do you
I mean,
believe?
my number
do you
3 is
believe-
Jaden Daniels.
So if you believe Jaden Daniels is number 2, you believe he's going number 2 to the Commanders?
I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
Charles, but do you believe that the Commanders are going to take him and Drake May?
No, I can see Jaden Daniels dropping
I
to
can see
11
him too.
11?
I can see
I think
him
he
dropping
said
to
this
11.
earlier in another podcast episode.
Yeah. I can see.
Okay.
I mean,
Anything is possible at this point.
Here's
That
the
would be
kicker.
crazy that a Heisman drops
if he
that
didn't
low, though.
if he didn't transfer to LSU, he wouldn't be in the top 10 conversation. And
This is true.
I applaud him for that. I applaud the coaching staff at LSU. I applaud the players around him. I applaud him for being that type of person that can create those type of plays in that type of environment. But outside of the Bears, there isn't another team that is going to grant that gentleman that type of environment.
No,
And if
probably
you
not.
don't think you're going to get a winning season out of him, I see him going to a team that isn't going to start him. And if that's the case, if Drake May goes 2, Patriots trade out of 3, there isn't anybody from 3 to 10 that's looking for a quarterback. They're in there looking for offensive talent in some form, whether it's an offensive tackle or a wide receiver or the quarterback.
Interesting.
At that
I
point.
think all 3 teams are gonna go quarterback right off the bat for the draft.
Yeah.
If they don't trade. They don't trade.
Absolutely.
But this is my thing. If New England trades down, let's say the Commanders end up picking Jaden Daniels, number 2, right? And they don't pick May with the 3rd pick. Who do you possibly think would trade with them to move up that far outside of maybe Minnesota?
Well, Oakland.
And what's gonna be left? Depending on, it's going to depend on who they're trading down with. How far down are they going down, and what's going to still be available that's going to seem suitable for the Patriots?
Well, you would have to assume that they're smart enough not to hurt their franchise. So if you're going to go from 3 down, you have to look at 4 through 9, And I don't think there's anything there 4 through 9 that 4 through 9 can't already get, because the 2 they would want in that scenario would be
9.
taken.
They can have our 9. We'll take your 3. And
But that's
No,
what.
you're gonna like what I got going
What
for
could
you
the
at 9.
Bears give up? And on the other side of that, what could the Bears give up at 9 to get to 3? As far as my knowledge, they still don't have a second round pick this year.
No.
So
And you don't
I'm going
mortgage the
back
future when you're
and
trying to build.
I'm going back, and I'm not gaining anything behind me significantly until next year. If I'm up in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 position, I'm not in a position to not gain now.
yeah, it's going to be interesting.
It will be. It will be. So then you look at 11. 11 is comfortable, but if you're the Patriots, I don't know, because you're not going to get the offensive tackle you want to help protect Jacoby Brissett at 11 that you can get at 3. So I don't see the Patriots really trading out. If they don't like a quarterback, I see them taking the best offensive tackle. It's the smartest move.
So Joe Alt comes off the board first.
I can see Joe
I
Alt
think
coming
I
off
can
the
see
board
him
at
at
3.
5.
I mean, if the Commanders take Jaden Daniels, though, I don't see why the Patriots wouldn't take Drake May.
Think that's their savior?
I think that's a situation. I think that's a Mitchell Trubisky situation, to be honest with you.
All right, let's roll into it now. Number 3.
I mean, I have Jaden Daniels at number 3.
I got Drake May
Daniels at number 3.
Yeah.
I got Drake May at 3.
I got JJ
Okay.
McCarthy at 3.
Yeah, JJ McCarthy. I got Bo Spicy Chicken Nicks at 3.
Really?
Yeah. Really?
Play 7 years in college
stats
football.
don't
You're gonna
lie.
have some
Charles,
stats.
you were a big Bo Nix guy. You were bringing up these stats like, dude, look at his stats. You were puffing them up and made me really start looking into them.
Listen, there's a little bit of context
fell
missing
off.
from that conversation. I was probably beefing up Bo Nix's stats versus a specific team they were about to be playing. When you play 7 or 12 years in college football in the Pac-12, you're going to have a load of stats, right? Like,
That's right. Isn't he like 38 or some shit like that?
Yeah.
He
Y'all
played
are
at Auburn
dicks.
for 1 or 2 seasons too. He played in the SEC for a couple of years, I
That's
think, or
back
at least
up.
1.
I think at Auburn. I think it was 2 years at Auburn.
Yeah.
Again, still.
Well, the SEC is probably the
I'm
best.
just saying, yeah, he has great stats. I'm not knocking your number. You said he's number 3?
Yeah, well, I mean, you could say Caleb Williams didn't play great defenses either if you want to play those games too.
Oh,
He
trust
played-
me. 100%. And his
I
numbers
know,
were
I'm
down
just
when he didn't have numbers, but the Bears have a situation which he had before last year, and he did really, really well when he had like Jordan Addison and a great offensive line.
Is he ever going to be able to live down the "fuck Utah" on his fingernails that he painted?
I don't know.
No.
Because the best part is there's so many pictures of him holding the football. You can see he's holding his hand like this, where you can see both hands. Yeah, it's kind of funny.
He shouldn't live it down. You should be reminded
never
of
gonna
that
live that
stupid
down.
bullshit for the rest
Well, he's
of your
probably
life.
going to paint him pink when he gets drafted for the Bears. That's fine. Well, no, maybe orange. What's the Bears
Orange and
colors?
blue?
We don't even know.
Orange and navy
right?
blue.
Is that color back there, right?
Paul's
All right, all right. Number 4, number 4 quarterback in the 2024 NFL draft.
Man, if Michael Penix was healthy, but I've got JJ McCarthy. I got JJ McCarthy at 4.
I got Bo Nix at 4.
I got Drake May.
I got JJ Mother Lovin' McCarthy.
I'm just
cute.
a little bit higher on JJ than I am on Drake. I don't know. I've only watched clips of this year, and that's, obviously they won the national title and they had a freaking crazy year this year. I could see putting Drake May at 3 as opposed to JJ because statistically he had a
guys are all
better
gonna
season,
hate me.
but it doesn't matter. I think JJ's, to me, he passes the eye test more than Drake does to be NFL ready.
I think he has the mindset, and I think that's what really separates him from every other quarterback that's out here. Outside of Caleb Williams, he probably has the best mentality, NFL ready, mentally.
I think football intelligence wise, but that's
Yeah.
why I have Drake at 3 and JJ at 4.
Yeah.
Or
All right,
Drake at 2. I'm sorry, Drake at 2.
number 5.
It's a split between Bo Nix and Michael Penix. I don't think you're going to go wrong picking either one of those two and allowing them to grow in your system as number 3 moving to number 2 quarterbacks.
I got Michael Penix too.
I got Michael Penix.
I got big Penix energy too. You guys could see that I didn't have Drake May in that top 5, and I explained this to you guys a million times. You couldn't beat Sam Howell out for the starting quarterback job in North Carolina. So if you can't beat a failed quarterback in the NFL out for a starting job on your own football team, then you aren't going to be a good quarterback in the NFL.
When you get sacked 57 times, when you get sacked 57 times in a season and still throw for, what do you throw for, over 4K and a buttload of touchdowns?
In the ACC, yeah.
No, I'm talking about, you said in the NFL, Sam Howell in the NFL.
Let me
Sam
ask you a
Howell,
question.
yeah, he also threw like 30. Yeah, he also is not even on that team anymore. He played one season and they got rid of him.
So
I mean,
okay.
granted, it was the Commanders. All right, okay. Granted, it was the Commanders. We'll just throw that out there. Come on, Paul. Come on. I want to hear it.
So my question is because these last few years with these drafts, some of these quarterbacks that are getting hyped up from these non-powerhouse schools. I'm just gonna throw a few names out there just for shit.
Yeah, give us the sugar. Give us the sugar, baby.
You got Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
You got Sam Howell. You got Zach Wilson, Daniel Jones, Mike Levis, whatever his name is.
Levis.
Like these aren't powerhouse football team schools, but they're getting propped it up like because they can throw a 60, 70-yard bomb on a pro day or on a combine. Like they're the shit. And I'm like, how good is that working out for everybody?
See, and that's why I don't think you obviously you have to take into account the combine and the pro day.
3,946. My bad.
I think people are kind of starting to realize, especially after the Zach Wilson and what's his nuts from Alabama that went to New England, Mac Jones.
Oh, Mac Jones, yeah.
Those pro days
you're starting to realize that teams are starting to realize, like, all right, so you threw 80 yards, but you had no pressure. Your wide receiver was wearing track cleats and you had the perfect condition on the turf. Like there was nothing going wrong for you. I want to see teams start making these fuckers uncomfortable in their pro days. Start having. I'm not saying
the passer, do one-on-ones.
Exactly. I'm not saying have them tackle.
We're going to see a guy get hurt.
I need some action to live up to what it is that you're doing. The skills I want to see.
I want to see decision making. I want to see you going through your progressions.
Even if you got a linebacker coming at you and just tapping you, I'm cool with that. But just give me the pressure.
Here's the kicker. You guys, are you all in agreement with what Charles said? I think our first ever one when we did quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, Charles said, are the Packers doing it right by letting that freaking meat cook on the grill for a little bit longer? Are they doing it the right way? Is that what it is? Because all these other teams are just hitting that fucking panic button, like boom, and they're like, "Hey, this guy's starting for us regardless."
The fact that they're not allowing them to develop as a quarterback behind somebody that's, I'm not saying everybody has a Super Bowl winning championship.
No, they don't have to be elite, but like you
said, you gotta let them, like you said, cook. Let them learn. Let them see the good, the bad, the ugly, and all that. So that way, when they're ready to be the starting quarterback, they've seen just about everything being thrown at them, so they're not looking out here like a deer in the headlights, just lost.
It's easy to do. I mean, I'm telling you right now, it's really easy to do. There was a comment made briefly the last time that not all teams get that luxury, but the kicker is that all teams can buy that luxury. Okay, and what you can do is that you're let's say the Bears, right? The Bears are in a different position with this generational talent with Caleb Williams. But let's say Jaden Daniels was it, right? Let's just say Jaden Daniels was it. He needs time to bulk up and grow. I think that indubitably. So if I was the Bears, what I would do then is I would bring him in, but I would pick up a veteran quarterback. Matt Ryan, somebody. Listen, we got a rookie quarterback anyways. We're not winning the Super Bowl. Why not let this potato bake? Right? You want a spud or do you want a damn Idaho potato?
Why do you think he's so little? He's like the average. He's like the average size quarterback.
Did we not establish that Jaden Daniels is a decent size quarterback? That guy is huge.
He's tall, but he's got tiny ankles. I'm telling you.
My God.
He's got tiny ankles. He's got tiny ankles.
What in the world are we talking about?
So you're saying are you going on a literal limb and saying he shouldn't play for the Jets?
His ankles are gone if he goes for
should not play
Jets.
for the Jets.
He should not
He
play.
should not play
He
for
should
the
not
Jets.
play for the Giants or for the Jets.
Here's a quick question for you. Here's a quick question for you. Who do you think is bigger, Anthony Richardson or Jaden Daniels?
Anthony Richardson.
And that dude got hurt inside 8 games. So let's see
Charles,
Jaden Daniels play the same way.
Jaden Daniels is not
The same. I mean, we're talking about it because of his athletic ability, right?
I can tell you one thing: Anthony Richardson wasn't wasn't run first quarterback.
Bro, the conversation around Anthony Richardson last year is the same that it is about Jaden Daniels. It's
To
the
you,
exact
I've never
same,
heard this.
dude.
I never heard this. I heard everybody talks about his arm and his accuracy on the deep ball.
His accuracy was sub 65% at Florida, but what everyone was raving about was athletic ability. This dude's a dog.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, to me, it's the exact same conversation with Anthony Richards with Jaden Daniels, and Anthony Richards got hurt way earlier, and the Indianapolis Colts are in the same situation that the Washington Commanders are in.
Well,
Their offensive line is iffy.
It's crappy. They couldn't keep their running back healthy, so I mean that doesn't bode well for the quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, I mean, that's what my eyes have seen in my history of watching football. It has nothing to do with absolutely anything else. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be a great quarterback. I really do, as long as he's not in a situation where he is putting his body in jeopardy too
That's
early.
every quarterback, though. I guess we could say. I don't like.
My thought would have been the same about Jordan Love.
Yeah,
if he would have played right away.
I'm not a big fan of running quarterbacks. I don't think any of us really are. I mean,
other than his athletic ability,
hey, the tush push is way different than a running quarterback.
Hold your face.
But again, I mean, when you're talking about consistency,
doesn't take off for 30, 40 yards.
When you're talking about
what are you
consistency,
talking about? When
Caleb Williams and Drake. Hold on a second. All right, hold on a second. I don't want to get on the Philadelphia Eagles yet. Let's stay in the draft real quick.
We got one more.
Okay, yeah, and we got to move on to the running backs and yada yada yada. All right, but the consistency factor when it comes to Drake May and Jane Daniels, right? It's like I had said why I had him. He was in Arizona State. If he stayed at ASU, he wouldn't have even been in the top 10. Consistently, you have. I mean, yeah, most of these experts are wrong, and I'm probably going to be wrong on a few of these.
Yeah, but the good quarterback. He was at Arizona State, but you act like he was a bum quarterback at Arizona State. He was a great quarterback.
I'm saying he was not going to be a top 10 pick if he stayed at ASU.
He went out a junior. If he could have stayed another year if he had gone here. He was going to transfer out to another school anyway, just like Caleb Williams. How many times Caleb Williams transferred? 3?
Twice.
I thought he transferred 3 times.
He started at OU and then he went to USC.
I thought he was at Alabama.
Followed his coach. Yeah, he followed his coach.
He started at OU.
Cam Newton transferred, I think, 3 times.
Was it Cam Newton 3 times?
Yeah.
Florida, JUCO, and then Auburn.
Yeah.
Well, JUCO, he got caught stealing the laptop.
It's better than
that was a shrimp. That was a king crab legs. Yeah, that's right.
That was Jameis Winston.
That was Jameis Winston that stole the crab. Oh, Cam Newton got accused of getting bags full of money or his mom's house getting paid for or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. But didn't mean to cut that the tush push conversation out.
No. It's all good. I understand why you would say that, but here's my problem with that.
Yeah.
When Jalen Hurts played against the Green Bay Packers, he ran for 157 yards. That's not a tush push merchant. That's a running quarterback. Jalen Hurts has had one of the 2 very successful plus 500-yard rushing seasons, plus 10 or 13. He had in 2022 13 rushing touchdowns, and in 2023 15 rushing touchdowns. Yes, 2023 a lot of them were tush pushes, but let's not say he's not a running quarterback when he slices teams up for 100+ rushing yards. There ain't quarterbacks who aren't rushing quarterbacks that can do that. That's all.
Well, there's one of them that isn't in the league right now. We all know who that is, and he hasn't been signed for like 5 years. Let's get him back on a team.
Who's
Are
that?
we talking about Colin Kaepernick?
Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, Oh God!
Because no, you wanted to talk about him dicing up the Packers.
The moment you were like, Jalen Hurts ran for 157, I'm like, that's it.
I think
Kaepernick went like for 375 or some shit like that.
Crazy number.
Yeah, Colin Kaepernick ran for 3 football fields in a playoff game.
That was just a joke. I wasn't trying to bash on anybody. I was like, let's get him back in the league. He can run for 300. Old Squidward himself.
The trash league, Colin Kaepernick.
The trash league. God. All right. Do you guys want to do running backs or wide receivers?
Don't make no difference.
I can go either way. Let's do wide receivers. Fuck it. That's what it's
all right. Page. I think we all know who our collective number 1 is going to be, but it's entirely possible that somebody else. They kind of is a 1A, 1B. But
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Not me. You're gonna hate mine, but
I'm gonna go wide receiver 1. I'm gonna go Malik Neighbors.
I got Marvin Harrison Jr. still.
I got Marvin Harrison Jr. because he doesn't come to the field with a backyard work ethic.
All right, I got Marvin, not quite his daddy yet, Harrison.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
He's just a little bit smaller in his.
Because I mean, you did have his dad talk for him at his pro day that he decided the day of he wasn't going to.
All right, number 2 is where it starts to get a little dicey for me.
I got number 2. I got Rome.
Yeah, Rome didn't fall today. Udunze.
That boy is gonna go places.
I think he is too. I believe he's the next Justin Jefferson.
That's a very good comparison.
He's a big body dude who's going to be able to use his body. He's got an NFL size body right now. He just needs to learn how to break man coverage.
Yeah. How do you do against Mike Sanders still?
How did anybody this year do against Mike Sanders still?
I'm just saying. Hail to the victory.
You just had to throw that on there?
Yeah. I have Rome as number 2 also, though.
I have Marvin Harrison, number 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think any of these you really can go wrong in the order except for like maybe the first 3.
If I put Adonai Mitchell as number 1, and then that would be a little weird.
Maybe that one.
And this is coming from a Texas guy. That would be a little weird.
Yeah, because
all right, Charles. All right, number 3 I think is where would the men separate the boys here.
We'll see.
Malik Neighbors is number 3.
I got Malik Neighbors at number 3.
I got Rome Odunze.
I got Malik. Wouldn't you like him to be your neighbor?
Would you be my neighbor?
Absolute and 2. Yeah.
This is one I have number 4, and I don't think a lot of you guys are going to agree with me whatsoever. I might as well just say it.
I'm almost certain that the last 2 are y'all gonna be like, you're stupid.
You're gonna hate me for this one.
Okay,
but I like this guy a lot. Keon, don't call him Gary Coleman.
Oh my God. Keon, I can see Keon Coleman's a big ass receiver. You talk about NFL ready body. That dude is big as shit.
I think he's gonna surprise people too, but he's not in my top 5. But he's not. He's not a terrible receiver to have in a top 5. It's respected.
The problem with him is he lost out on not being able to have Travis Hunter. No, what's his quarterback? Who's his quarterback? Jordan Travis.
Yeah,
that guy.
I got it. At 4, I got Brian Thomas.
I got Brian Thomas Jr. at number 4.
Man,
come on, Charles.
Well, see, to me, one of the fun things about it was I started thinking when you're talking about after 1, 2, and 3 on this board is gone. I think situationally, it fits really well. Like, let's pretend Roman Wilson goes to a spot where he's not acting as a number 1, but he's acting as a Wes Welker slot receiver. I mean, now we're coming back talking about, man, Roman Wilson should have been the number 2 or number 3 wide receiver, right? So, but even with all that said, I have Mr. Andonia Mitchell from Texas, number 4.
That's my number 5 is Adonai Mitchell.
My 5 is Adonai Mitchell.
Yeah. Number 5, Troy. He's not Dick Franklin.
Yeah.
I can see that too.
What are you doing with these names?
Well, I told you I got names. I have names all the way down. I told you I made names.
I'm loving it.
I had fun with it. I was trying to have fun with it because I knew I couldn't have like an extra. Like Charles had like Charles had like 15 for some of these. Like for college guys, probably not so easy, but for the NFL, hell yeah, you could have won all day.
Yeah.
I can dig it. I can dig it.
I thought Charles would like that one.
Yeah,
Not Dick Franklin.
I enjoy them all. For number 5 for me, I like Lad McConkey.
I like that. I actually like that pick a lot. Whoever gets him is getting a freaking stud. Same thing with McCaffrey's brother, who I believe is going to be a second rounder. Someone's getting a steal in the second round if they get
that
him.
boy got feet. And
Luke McCaffrey,
yeah.
They've got him projected as like pick 75 or something like that, which is crazy.
That's
I'm
like
McConkey,
right
Mr.
there.
McConkey. Yeah,
I think McConkey is going to be. He's going to be a lot better than a lot of people think, and I think I haven't watched enough of him to say confidently that he could be a wide receiver 1, but he damn sure make a great wide receiver 2 or even 3.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the kicker. Kicker, right in the dicker. It after 1, 2, 3, I truly believe it comes down to situation.
It's all situational, yeah, for sure.
Without a doubt.
Because a lot of these people after 3, they are not going to go to a team and be a number 1, right? You're a number 1 wide receiver to me is you catch 51% of the balls thrown in your direction, but you take double coverage 90% of the time. Right. It's that simple. So after 3, I didn't see anybody on the board who was taking double coverage 90% of the time. If they're thrown into that situation day 1, can they grow into it like a Devontae Adams type situation? I think indubitably, just like
the only player
a future
on the board,
Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
The only player on the board that's not on the board that you mentioned is the only guy. He was the guy who beat double coverage the entire season, and that was the guy from Michigan. That was Roman Wilson. I think he beat 89% of man.
I mean, coverage. I did mention him. And it was in the scenario where said if he ends up in a situation where he's a slot receiver like a Wes Welker type,
I think he's like 6
he might end up being
fast.
he might end up being the number 2, number 3 overall look back. And how do you redraft the wide receiver scenario?
Yeah,
he's a better Randall Cobb. Yeah.
A lot of mocks
out of
that I've seen him have him going around Roman Wilson. I want to say around between 50 and 59.
Yeah. Early 3rd round, I thought it was. Yeah,
which I think is going to be great for him. I think he's going to have a great career.
That's the shitty thing about these mock draft sites. Some of them have him going like there's a cornerback named Max Melton out of Rutgers.
Yeah, it's Bo Melton's brother. Yeah,
they have him. Some drafts have him going like 55. Some drafts have him going at 38. Some drafts have him going at 12. And I'm like, it's
all situational. Yeah, what these teams are desperate. We're just going to go with the guy.
Yeah, I guess you could justify, but
that's when ultimately when we're talking about these situations. Oh, excuse me.
There's a reason why there's never been anybody who's gotten all 31 draft picks.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Never. Yeah, there's no way you could be
it comes down to the big board.
Right.
When it's my turn to draft, I'm looking at my football team and what I need in a position. Who do I have positionally is 1, 2, 3, and who's the best player I think in that position? Is he the overall number 5 pick in the draft? No, but he's my number 1 board pick.
You know what makes me mad when it comes to like some, and this is just me.
Yes.
Y'all gonna let me know if y'all agree. When it comes to these drafts, when they say they just need to pick the best available player on the draft board, it pisses me off because it's like you're drafting somebody. Yes, they may be the best available athlete, player, whatever on the board.
But if you don't need him,
but do you really need him? Or like it just? I hate.
Is it going to make your team better?
Right. Yeah. Like, why are you listening to these jackoffs telling you to draft the best person available on the draft?
Yeah, because
when you don't need this person.
Right.
What if you're the Green
situation?
What if you're the Green Bay Packers and the best person on the board is a quarterback? You don't need another fucking quarterback.
Right.
You got Jordan Love. If you really want to get another quarterback, go to the 6th round, 7th round, somebody who's going to sit for 10 years or 5 years or whatever the case is and learn. But like
Green Bay situation, it's 10 or more.
Or 10 or more. But yeah, like
on average.
I get the best player available scenario. And sometimes like when I do my mock drafts and I'm trying to just kind of figure people out, I'll do best player available. But if like the Eagles got at 22, right? We got to pick at 22. We could draft a receiver or we could trade up to draft a receiver. That doesn't meet any of our fucking needs though. I don't need a wide receiver one. I don't need because AJ Brown is catching 50+% of everything thrown at him.
And pulling double coverage.
And beating double coverage. Yeah. So
now if you're in the 3rd or 4th round and a Roman Wilson's still there, absolutely.
Come here. You can be my third
steal. Yeah. That's a steal in the draft. But it's like to automatically assume, hey, this is the best defensive end.
It's such a bad
board, but you don't need a defensive end. Why are you going to draft a defensive end that you don't need?
Real world scenario, right? Like the Jackson Cheerio and Holiday, I'm forgetting his full name here. Mm-hmm. He had the number 1 and number 2 prospect in baseball. Milwaukee calls up the number 2 baseball prospect early, and he's slaying it, right?
Yeah, but didn't Cheerios get to play an entire season? I thought Jackson Holiday didn't even play last year.
No, Jackson.
I thought he didn't play in the minors last year.
You're talking about the minors.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not. Just let the story.
He had a whole year. Right? He had a whole year to play. Cheerios did a whole extra year.
That makes a difference.
I don't think Jackson played. I think he came out of high school last year, went right to the baseball. He didn't play. Cheerios played in the minors.
Right. So like I was saying, with Cheerio doing what he was doing as the number 2 prospect, the Orioles started to listen to the whispers a little more than they should and may have pulled their number 1 prospect up too early. Yeah. He may have needed more time to build. But the allure of Cheerio doing great, the 2-1, it just seems like a situation where Baltimore would have been better.
And if it doesn't pan out for Baltimore, it's going to bite them in the ass in the long run.
Absolutely. And here's the thing. Well, who's the last player this ever did pan out?
Mike Trout. What are we talking about?
No, Mike Trout played in the minors, I believe, for a season. I thought before he got brought up, he was like 18 and he was in the minors.
I was gonna say, what's the context of your question?
The context of the question is this: there has not been a Major League Baseball player that went straight from high school straight to the first plate appearance. Is what you're trying to say?
What about A-Rod?
I don't believe A-Rod. A-Rod played like professional baseball over in like wherever, Dominican. I'm saying these guys play professional ball like in Japan, whatever. That's still pro ball. They had experience.
But my comment is what you're saying though.
You were bashing on frickin' Jackson, and he never had a whole year like Cheerios did.
Dude, in what way? I said the Orioles may have brought him up too early. How was I bashing on him?
Because you were bashing him because he was the number 1 versus the number 2. He had it. He was at a.
I was using that for why the Orioles
the other day.
Okay,
you go. Sure. He struggled like 9.
If I was bashing him, I would tell you that his first hit in the major leagues came just fucking yesterday or today. Right? Like I'd be saying stuff like that he struck out 7 out of 11 at bats. I would be saying the Baltimore Orioles may have called him up too early. I'm just trying to figure out where I was bashing the dude at.
You bashed him because you said it was number 1 versus number 2, and you said you were bragging. You're like, yeah, you did say all that stuff.
I said because Jackson Cheerios was doing good, Baltimore. We will.
You did too. We
will. I said because Jackson Cheerios was doing so well, Baltimore may have brought Holiday up too early. That's what I said.
Yeah, but it's fucking Baltimore. the thing is, this is the thing. You can't compare. You were trying to compare the two.
In what way?
Because, dude, read the text. You were comparing them. You were saying that he's way better. That Cheerios is way better. He had an extra year. I don't care what Baltimore
was. Was I saying that he was way better?
Yeah, you did.
I'm asking the other two. I guess I got to ask the other two. Was I saying he was way better?
I didn't get that. I just got some guy had an extra year in the minors to play versus some guy who didn't. That's all I got. But I don't follow baseball, so I'm gonna.
I was using it as the foundation to say the Orioles brought him up too early because Cheerios was performing.
I did not get the whole scenario of. I'm going to have to side with Charles on this one. He didn't say that he was better. He just said that.
How can he have an extra year? No.
Hold
on. They weren't even in the same fucking draft, dude.
I hear you. They weren't. So I think what Charles is trying to allude. I think what Charles is trying to allude is that yes, bringing up Cheerios is doing good right now, and Baltimore got this tunnel vision. Like, well, their top prospect is making it. Let's call ours, and they shouldn't have called their top prospect up so early, just because of the fact that
It's not the same scenario, though. If it was the same scenario, you could say that. It's not the same scenario because he didn't have a year.
And
so
that's
it's just like they just jumped the gun
too early. They jumped the gun in calling up Jackson.
You lost me because it's not. If it was the same scenario, that's like saying, okay, Derrick Rose and someone else were drafted, and this guy sits the bench, and the other guy gets. The other guy's still in college. How the fuck can you compare the two? You can't, because that's what you're saying right now. You said he had a year. The other guy couldn't have a year because this is his first fucking year. That's what doesn't make any sense to me. There's no comparison between the two. Makes no sense.
I wasn't comparing them.
You did too. You said they let him sit. The other guy, they brought him up too soon.
Bro, everyone, you're the only one who took it as me comparing them. I don't know what to tell you. I don't. I wasn't comparing them. I was saying because one was doing so well, it made the other one call the other one up too early. I don't know. I mean, you heard his name and you went off that I was comparing them. I don't know what else to tell you.
Well, how could they let him sit when they didn't have a year to let him sit, though?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? I just explained this to you. Cheerios played in the minors the entire season last year. Holiday was in fucking high school last year. That's the difference. What part of that you get it? You don't get it at all. Like, you do not understand what I'm saying.
No, I don't, because I wasn't comparing the two at all. Period. So I don't get it.
I love it here.
When you bring it up and you're arguing your point, you're definitely bringing it up.
What, dude? I was using this as a real world scenario about somebody bringing somebody in too early.
Yeah, but it's not the same situation. That's the problem. You got to find another team that's got the same situation as Baltimore and compare those two players. You're comparing two people that are a year apart.
For you, man. I don't know what else to tell you.
Because it bothers me that you're bringing up two different people, two different situations. That's like saying Jordan Love and who was a rookie last year. That's the situation. This guy got to sit for a year. This guy's starting right away. That's not the same situation. Yeah. You can't compare the two.
I wasn't comparing them.
When you say they brought him up too early, you're making a comparison.
I was saying that the Baltimore Orioles did it, dude. I wasn't doing it. And the funny thing about all of this is that my whole statement agrees with what you were saying. That's why I said I don't understand where you took that I was saying that Holiday is trash and Churio is way better.
Because you told us he was trash. You kept telling us.
You'll have to go back and read the text. I'm saying I didn't. Paul said I didn't. Mike said I didn't. You're the only one who said I did.
In our group text? Yeah, you did. You brought up. You said this dude.
What the fuck, dude? In our group text? In our fucking group text?
Dude, go back. I literally
No, stop it. Stop it.
I told you this.
Stop it. In our group text? Yes, in our group text. I was laughing that the dude has struck out 5 out of 9 times in our group text, not live on the fucking show.
Yeah, but you weren't.
That had nothing to do with my comment about the show, Pat. What are you doing?
You're bringing up the same point on the show as you
were. No, I was not.
Okay, same point.
Bro, the other fucking people in here told you I wasn't. What are you doing?
Well, I'll screenshot that shit.
Yes, I said it in the group text. It means nothing about whatever, dude. Jesus fucking Christ, whatever. Why? What the fuck?
You bring up stuff that don't matter.
What are you talking about? You interjected an entirely new conversation into what we were talking about, and then acted like we were all crazy. The fuck, that guy? God damn, dude. Well, this is gonna be a show. What the fuck? You didn't even tell us you were bringing that in. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, the text. Check the text. I'm like, well, I can't check the text till the show's over. I know what I said on the show. No, the group messages.
I said the group message.
Oh, my God.
Dude. Immediately, I said group message. Did I not? I said in the message, the group message. What other message would there be?
Bro, we were all talking about 2 different conversations. Didn't even know what you were talking about. Sure, yes. In the group text that we have privately, I did mention that Jackson Holiday has struck out 5 out of 9 times since he's been in the major league. Yep, I did. That's the truth. But he's up too early. So I don't know what else to tell you. Are we gonna get to running backs or?
Gotta love sports.
I love this shit.
I didn't realize that you came in on a different track. I'm sorry. You know, We're all on the same page now. Yes.
This is why we do this, because of shit like this.
Holy fuck. You cut the baseball chatter out. Now you're yelling at me about Jackson Holiday. Let's just get to the running backs.
Yes, sir. I
Who we got as number one?
Number one, I got Jonathan Brooks from Texas.
That's my
Never heard of him.
Jonathan Brooks. You are a fucking liar.
Audric Estime, Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah.
I bet she's the first running back off the board.
Probably because Jonathan Brooks is still recovering technically.
Yeah, he's still.
Well, then why would he be number one?
Because he's still the number one running back in this draft class.
Because
I've never
Estime
heard of him.
can't touch Jonathan Brooks on the field. He can't.
I never heard of him.
All right, you're gonna hear about him next year.
Who you got as number two?
Number two, I got shit. My phone just collapsed on me. Stupid iPhones.
Charles, who did you have?
I had Blake Corum.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I'm sorry. I'm talking over you again.
It's okay.
No, you're good, boss. It's okay. It's okay.
No, we can all scream. It's fine.
I got Blake Corum as number two.
I got Jalen Wright from Tennessee.
Patty.
Trey, I got High Benson.
Okay. I got Jalen Wright at number three.
Pat, or Charles, who did you have in number two?
Blake Corum.
Blake Corum at two. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you said who at three, Paul?
Jalen Wright.
Okay. I got Blake Corum at three.
I got Audric from Notre Dame.
Jalen, who was right.
All right. So far, it's pretty similar for the most part.
Number four, I got Bucky Irving from Oregon.
I got Trey Benson.
He's my number four. I'm sorry, Jalen Wright. I'm sorry. He's great. I've had three different things. Jalen Wright's my number four.
All right.
Sorry about that.
Mr. Patty.
Blake, I won the Natty Corum, number four.
Number five, I got Bucky Irving.
I got Trey Benson at five.
I got Bucky at five.
Marshawn Five Fingers Lloyd.
Nice.
I don't think so.
I told you one of these is going to be like not like anybody else's. The running back one. I looked deep into the running back one with the power. I looked at the power statistics first for Audric Estime, and I watched that Notre Dame game or the Notre Dame Ohio State game again against Ohio State. And Charles brought this up. One of our first ever podcast episodes we did in college football. Charles brought it up. Had they not effed up, they would have won that game because the dude was running all over Ohio State.
They dominated the entire game minus the last.
Well, minus the coach
minutes.
fuck up, yeah.
Two huge coaching fuck ups.
So absolutely.
I mean, and the sad thing is that everyone started to watch Notre Dame differently at that point, and the light on that running back became less. And running back pro days don't act the way wide receiver, tight end, cornerback, and quarterback pro days do. It seems like with those groups, people forget that game tape exists, and they're just like, "Oh my God, pro day! This guy's number one." Oh my God,
no, that's called cheating. Remember, it's called cheating if you watch the game film.
Yeah. How dare you watch that? I agree.
Dare you prep yourself for the season?
So, what round does the first running back go in? Third round.
I could see Blake Corum going.
I can see one going in the second round late.
Yeah, I don't know.
It depends on the depends on the team.
I don't know, man. Yeah,
there
isn't a first round quarterback that jumps off the screen to me.
Well, the problem with running backs is every team that pretty much needed one picked one up in free agency.
Yep.
Same thing with wide receivers. I mean, technically.
I just don't see.
Maybe the Raiders at 11 because of losing Jacobs.
Maybe.
And having a quarterback situation, not liking the quarterback.
I don't think they picked anybody up in free agency for running backs.
No, they haven't.
That might be the team that does it in the first round.
And to be honest with you, if I've got a quarterback that nobody outside of the room believes in, an offensive line that's okay but needs help, I'm going to pick up a running back. Yeah. Especially if the tight end that I can trust to block for my quarterback isn't there, I'm picking up a dog.
Yeah.
That makes a whole lot of sense.
There's some running backs in this draft that are big body, tank, built up style running backs. So all of that makes sense to me. The problem is like Pat said, and like you all have said, free agency filled the Green Bay which is unexpected.
And they were young. I mean, realistically, they're young. Second contracts for out of their first contracts, maybe finishing their second contract. I mean, they're young, proven studs.
And I don't think any of the running back prospects in this class are better than any of the free agent running backs that went to different teams this year. I don't think that. I think there are guys that like a Blake Corum. I think the dude could play anywhere and is going to be a bell cow somewhere, but I don't think he's necessarily better than a Josh Jacobs or Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley because he just doesn't have that experience yet. So
he's little too.
Yeah, that's why I think free agency was so heavy with running backs this year. I just don't think.
Where's Houston at?
Houston?
Yeah, what draft? What's their pick in the first round?
They don't have one, I don't think. They traded it to the Vikings, I think. Hold on. Houston.
Because I know they got Mixon. I get right. They got Mixon.
Yeah, they're not going to go and draft. They got Mixon. They're not going to go draft a running back. Not in the first round anyway. Or second round.
Yeah, so Houston only has 2 second rounds, a pair of 4th rounders, and 2 7th rounds.
Yeah, that second rounder, they're probably going to go. What do you think? Defense,
probably
offensive line.
I could see a trade to get into 9th.
Oh, for Houston?
Yeah.
Right
off the bat, Bears get next year first round draft pick from Houston some way or another, and this year's second round draft pick. One of this year's second. Add a couple more pieces to that. Bears get a second round draft pick. They've got pieces. I can see it happening. Do I think it's going to happen? No.
I don't see how they pull that off. Just for the fact that it's like you don't know what pick you're getting next year. You know it's a first round, but you don't know how good or bad the Texans are going to be. So that's a gamble.
Yeah, well,
depends on how
teams do this all the time, especially with the Bears.
How hungry are the Bears for a second round pick? There are a lot of good players coming in that second round, and if it costs you the 9th pick and you can pick up 2 second rounders, I think because of the talent depth of this draft, I don't see that being crazy.
No,
Poles has done some crazy stuff these last 2 years. So, man,
and if Caleb Williams is him, you have talent around him and enough offensive tackle talent in the second round that all of this makes sense.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could
when you put it like that,
you could pick up a really good tackle in the second round easy. I mean, even in the 3rd round, you could pick up a really decent, not starting right away talent.
But you can plug them in and out, get the reps up, get the experience.
40 to 60% of the play reps.
And then eventually just
Michigan's entire offensive line is out there.
That's what I mean. Absolutely.
So, I mean, yeah, there's definitely some good offensive.
You're going to be getting at least 40% from them. Yeah. I mean, if it was me, I've got the number 1 draft pick I wasn't supposed to have. I don't need the number 9. I do need second round draft picks. And if I can get 2 second round draft picks and a conditional first or second rounder next year, I mean, so and then you got to add a little more to that because of the compensation.
I can see that.
You're saying Houston is like their golden child. You're going to trade me the 2 for 1 deal with that 9.
And Houston's still banking on that Deshaun deal. So Houston has a plethora of wealth behind them right now. To make this.
They went cheap for sure,
Yeah. And I think it would be a draft shocker.
If they pick up number 9, who do you think they go for? Because Houston, to me, needs linebacker help and they need cornerback help. Who do they go?
I wouldn't take a linebacker in the top 10, though.
No. I absolutely my linebacker one is Edrin Cooper, and he's not till at least.
And you're not getting Joe Alt. He's going top 5.
If you're going up there, you're taking a wide receiver. You're taking one of the top 3 wide receivers.
Yeah,
because you've got an injury and you want as much help for CJ. The defense is fine. The offense is already good. Joe Mixon's going to help that.
Well, I guess they don't know what he's going to be like when he comes back next year either.
Yeah.
But again, like we were saying, there's so much talent in the second round. If I'm Houston, I might not think I need to go in the first round. So
just hold on to it.
I don't.
If the Bears call me, yes, but I'm not calling the Bears.
Now, what the 9, if they do, if they were to do at 9, it helps them get somebody like a Quinyon Mitchell or Terrion Arnold. It helps them get that secondary that they need a lot worse. But you can still get a Max Melton. You can still get what's the kid from Oregon? You can still get a Mike Santra still. You can still get all these great corners in the second round. So
yeah, I don't even honestly. I looked at a lot of draft boards, and I feel like you just mentioned 2 really good like defensive DBs and then safeties and stuff. But the problem is a lot of these draft guys, if you look at their draft boards, they don't really have very many corners. Even anywhere near the top 30.
After Kool-Aid,
yeah.
After
they're dropped
Cooper,
down. Well, Kool-Aid and Cooper DeJean are like pretty much that's 1 and 1A. I mean, those guys are almost guaranteed.
I'm actually upset that
starters.
Cooper went and had an amazing pro day
Well,
because
for the
there was a
Packard-
really
the
high
Packard thing.
chance that he was going to go to Green Bay, and now he had his pro day, and now he ain't going to Green Bay.
no,
I don't see
you
the
guys
problem.
are you guys are picking at what 25?
Yeah,
20,
he wasn't- I don't know if he would have
Yeah,
made it.
because I think we're just above you guys.
Yeah.
If Philly picks up Cooper DeJean, I'm okay because he can play safety, he can play nickel corner, he can play outside corner. He doesn't play press. That's not his ball. He's more of a zone guy. But if we pick up Cooper DeJean or Quinyon Mitchell as far as corners go in the first round, I'm happy. Or I would love Jared Verse. Leatu Latu, if somehow they fell down to 22, but
I just want to say it may be a slight disappointment, but Charles' slight disappointment that he's not going to get Cooper brings me joy to my heart.
No, it's more than just slight. We were actually at our heart set on this, Paul.
Like,
So.
the joy
I'm telling you, dude. Like it's it's a cornerback world in our first round, and if one of those 2 are on the board, we're taking it, and it more or less whoever Philly doesn't take, Green Bay's taking, unless somebody comes in and slips in between there somehow.
Well, people keep talking about this like the old haha Clinton Dix, Alabama bring Kool-Aid in,
and I
the jerseys would be off the fucking charts in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Oh yeah, I'd buy one.
there's so much. This is what's crazy. What's great about this draft is there's so much depth. Like there's a DB depth specifically, but there's this kid who's projected to go in, I think, round 5 or 6. He's a safety. His name is
I thought safeties were really bad this draft. That's why everybody was going after him in the free agency.
His name is Kitan Oladapo.
Is that?
And he's from like Western Michigan or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah. I think he had a crazy pro day.
That kid is gifted, and if somebody can get him in the 6th, 7th round, he's gonna. Man, it's crazy. But then you've got great like the O-line talent in this draft is fantastic too. Yeah, because like you said, Michigan's entire offensive line is projected to go 2nd or 3rd round, something like. There's so many people to pick.
20. I think they said 21 potential second string, first to second string linemen on here, depending on what team's needs are. I mean, that's pretty good if that's a projection by like NFL
those
scouts.
Are gonna fly off the shelf. Fast.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh yeah, 2nd round, 3rd round, they're gonna be gone.
My top 10 is full of them. So.
And this is the thing. Most of those linemen that are projected to be so high might not even go high. So it's like the teams that do get them in the 2nd or the 3rd round as steals, they're not having to cough up so much money because they're 2nd and 3rd round picks versus them being a 1st round pick.
Well, you want to get into our 1st round picks? Who wants to go first?
I can go first. I'll start mine.
Wait, what?
We picked our top 10. Did you not pick your top 10?
I did not get that memo.
You're fine.
It's all good. All right.
You can have mine. You want mine?
No.
You're gonna like what all right. I'm picking at 9. You pick at 9 for me then with the Bears' 2nd pick because we already know what number 1 is.
All right, yeah.
We'll do that. So
my top 10 goes as this: Caleb Williams at 1, Jaden at 2, JJ at 3, Marvin Harrison at 4, Malik at 5, Joe Alt at 6, Olu Fashanu at 7, Leatu Latu at 8, Romo Dunze at 9, and JC Latham at 10.
Nice.
And all of this is just literally me looking at what's that website we were just on? Anyways, one of the draft website, draftbuzz.com or whatever it is, looking at them and then going based on their statistics and team needs and all of that. So that's how it came to mind.
I like it. I like it. Go ahead, Pat.
All right, I'm going to screw one of these names up that you actually said. Caleb Williams at 1 to the Bears. Jaden Daniels at 2 to the effing Commanders. JJ McCarthy at 3 to the New England Pat Still Suck Now. Dallas Turner to the Arizona Ice-T. Joe Alt, go fuck yourself, San Diego. Marvin Harrison Jr. to the fucking Giants. Olema Wadamuri Kuda Fushikuwanamanama. Have fun making that jersey, Tennessee. Drake May to the Raiders. That's one that I think, Charles, I never even thought was a possibility, but I heard some scuttlebutt, so I picked it. Number 9 there, Paul. Who are the Bears taking at 9?
Me? If I'm picking, I'm picking Rome. If he's still on the board. I don't know if you said him already.
I had Malik Neighbors going to the Bears at 9. And Rome is going
but
10 to the Jets.
Rome and Malik, I would take either one of those.
Here's the thing. I agree. Charles said this before the last episode. If the Jets get Rome at 10, Aaron Rodgers has weapons now with Garrett Wilson on one side and Rome on the other side. With the way Rodgers can throw a deep ball, they just need to protect his ass. You said this last episode. It did not click until I started making these picks. And then Charles was like, everything that he said started to click.
Bro, and not just that. If this might be, and no offense to Green Bay's defenses, but this might be one of the best defenses on paper that Aaron Rodgers has ever had.
Oh, for sure. That Jets defense is way better than anyone Green Bay's had. Yeah, for sure.
That's
disrespectfully.
Yeah, well, respectfully, disrespectfully.
Disrespectfully. I mean, literally, the Jets are like, see, this is what I don't think people are. I don't think people realize the Jets are legitimately. This is Aaron Rodgers 1 year, right? They signed Hassan Reddick. They didn't give him any extension. None of the guys that they've signed really have gotten extensions. These are 1 year rental players that are okay. We think we can win a championship this year.
Or they buffed that defense up like a big time to try to win a freaking championship for sure. 100%.
Oh yeah.
So the Jets are basically leaning on defense more. Their chips are on defense.
I mean, they did beat a couple teams with just their defense last year.
That's what I'm saying. So all you need is Aaron Rodgers is just to be mid. Not saying that he's mid, but I don't need even if
he doesn't have to.
I don't get an MVP season. Yeah. I don't need an MVP season, but if you could give me 4,000, 4,500 yards, 25,
22 to 24, 24 interceptions.
And his interception to touchdown ratio, is not so crazy.
Sorry, Charles. Sorry.
Your defense is basically going to win you your games as long as you're able to put points on the board offensively. Their defense is stacked.
Yeah, and let's not forget too, man. Like that back, I mean, their defensive back core is crazy. And if you get Rome and add that to that fucking, it's retarded. Like the amount of damage your offense could do. The problem is we all know that Aaron Rodgers hates rookies. Hates them.
This ain't no regular rookie though.
Rome? No.
Yeah, but the 1 second he drops a pass, Aaron Rodgers is never going to throw him the ball again.
Here's the thing. Let's get into Charles before we get into this debate, because I hopefully he doesn't have a trade at 10, and hopefully he's picking for the Jets. So let's hear it.
He has a trade. I can see it.
He has a trade at 10.
I can see it.
Okay.
Why am I nervous to hear these men's pick?
Yeah, you don't gotta be nervous. You should have been nervous when I was screaming at him for no reason.
No, that was entertaining.
Oh God, no. No.
Entertaining? I almost had a heart attack. Charles is over here like
my pacemaker's just fine.
Welcome to the club, fuckos.
Yeah, I got it.
Mike's over there just laughing.
No,
Don't not fellas.
That's the rule. What
that's
are you talking
Patrick.
About? Mike
Earlier, Mike left the
room and did this. Mike usually there's the one time where Mike got upset and he like almost threw the headphones. This time he slowly slips them off and slips out of the room like I don't want to hear this shit.
Well, no. So for me, it was half of it was like Thank God I'm not the only psychopath in this group.
Listen.
That's
second-
why it's that guy right there. That's why, because Charles, that's the whole point. He made the shirt probably for a joke. He knew the shit was coming. It was going to happen eventually.
And secondly, I really
makes
had
the
to
show
piss.
work.
So
Yeah, clicks.
That shit was hilarious to me.
what
Well,
makes
it's going to be
this-
even better with the comments, dude. It makes
Oh, yeah.
absolutely no sense to anybody but me. And the whole reason it doesn't make sense to anybody else but me is because I was talking to myself in my own fucking head. That's why. Charles is over here talking like, I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean the comments? There ain't nobody talking in the comments. What are you talking about? You're leaving. Paul's over here like this, just leaning up in the corner like, this shit is gold. Charles is losing his mind.
All I'm thinking about is clickbait.
I'm like, man,
there's
where's the train? Oh, okay, yes.
Wait till you start pulling some freaking shorts out of this, and all it is
so
is just me
funny.
yelling at myself the whole fucking time.
Wait. The moment you said the text message thread, Charles was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Exactly. But the whole point is, I'm the only one that knows what's going on. Charles is pissed because he's like, I wasn't talking about that. Yes, you were. What do you mean? No, I didn't say that. Check the comments. Go ahead. Check the comments. Go ahead. Fucking check the comments. And here I am in my own
I gotta
fucking
wait
head,
for the fucking
thinking
show
that
to
it
end
makes
for you to
sense to
show
me.
me the descript.
The only thing that's going to make sense to me out of this whole thing is that I'm screaming and I'm going to hear myself talking to myself because you're not talking. You're staring at me. He's back there and fucking Mike disappeared. That's the whole conversation.
Mike was like, look,
I had to
family infight.
listen, bro.
I was like, family infighting. This is the perfect time
I wasn't
to go take
listening.
a
That's
piss.
the other problem too. I was just screaming. So that I guess that's a life lesson for me too. So
All I gotta say.
No, I had,
one
dude.
word,
I had to stop for a second, find out where you were. I was like, okay, yeah. All right,
we need to get that. We need to get that WTF isolated that you said though, because we need to put that in a promo because that was gold.
That's amazing.
It was beautiful.
All right,
It was timed out just perfect in between the pause of me screaming, you going, and then Paul does this with his headphones. Puts them up here because he doesn't want to listen to this.
Loud,
screaming.
That's gonna be okay.
Yeah,
I had to turn my interface out. 'cause you
Yeah, I shouldn't have
fucking
been
were
screaming. I'm
yelling.
sorry. I apologize all for you.
It's all good.
Do you want to know why I said all
Hey,
for
hey,
you?
hey,
Because
hey, I love-
there's a little voice up in my head right now that's telling me you shouldn't have said that shit. So
Listen, we're family. It's hashtag pure love. These things. I mean, listen, when you're in a car ride with your brother for 12 hours, you end up punching him in the mouth. That's just what
yeah.
happens.
Well, I was screaming
That's
so loud
what
I got the
happens.
dog to bark. That's new for me. You thought somebody was like attacking me in here or something.
I've got the windows open in here too.
Yeah,
the
there
whole
you go.
neighborhood's like, what the hell?
All right. Well,
What
before
the
we
hell?
get too far into this, Charles, you got to break down your top
Okay,
10.
so we've got my top 10. Number 1, Caleb Williams. Number 2, Drake May. Number 3, get ready to shock the world, JJ McCarthy.
we all
I think-
had them.
I think the Patriots, there's just something about the Tom Brady effect, Michigan, the dude's football IQ. And maybe it's because I'm a Michigan fan. I don't think so. But I've got JJ going at number 3. I've got Marvin Harrison going at number 4. I've got Joe Alt going 5. I've got Malik Neighbors going 6. I've got tight end Brock Bowers going 7 to Tennessee. I've got Roma Dunez going to old Kirky boy.
Kirky.
Yeah, and Kirky's getting a weapon down in
Who's
Atlanta
getting-
with Rome.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick.
I'm not actually. I think it's too early, and that's why I agree with the Bears taking Dallas Turner, edge rusher from Alabama. I think
be
it's
fine
too.
with that.
It's like a
I think it's-
no-brainer. Yeah.
I think it's too early. I think somehow or another, would they get him in the second round? No, but I think he will fit well.
With
in
Sweat?
Yep,
This
absolutely.
is with Sweat. Oh,
both
him
of
and
them
Sweat on one side. His Sweat's with the Bears, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Montez
Yeah.
Sweat.
Yeah, him and Sweat. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that's going to be freaking. That's not good for the Packers if they take him. Just saying. For us, it's not good. Charles actually did you a pretty solid right there by taking that guy. So,
I
yeah, it's not
looked at it
weapons you guys
objectively.
need. You guys, their offense is going to be fine.
Number 10, my number 10 pick, I think, should 110% be this person. I think if the Jets do anything else, they're chasing their one and only Lombardi, which was Super Bowl III, which they bought There's no way they should have beat the Colts that year. But I'm picking Jaden Daniels, number 10, to the Jets to sit behind Aaron Rodgers because the Jets won a Jordan Love situation. Aaron's going to be there maybe one more year, and they have enough to win.
So you pumped him up one extra spot. You gave him the 10 spot instead of the 11.
I gave him the 10 spot. I gave him the 10 spot.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
That would be tremendously interesting if they went quarterback with that 10th pick.
My only problem is with that is drafting somebody like a Jaden Daniels to sit behind Aaron Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers is one of the smartest quarterbacks on the field, right? And I think you can learn from him.
Yeah.
But Jaden Daniels doesn't play quarterback the same way Aaron Rodgers does. And I don't know how helpful Aaron Rodgers will be to a Jaden Daniels to play the way Jaden plays versus trying to mold him into what
I can make it a little
wants.
easier for I can make it a little easier for you.
Yeah.
In the world of an athletic quarterback, do we consider footwork a key factor in their success?
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't get that much
Does
time to throw
Aaron
the ball,
Rodgers have some of the best footwork we've ever seen?
Poster.
Yeah, when he
or
doesn't break
pre.
his ankle, yes.
Yeah, that part.
Okay, but still,
No. That
Yep.
was just a
Yep.
slight at the Jets field
Yep.
turf again.
Yeah,
Number.
I agree. I don't disagree with you.
Time.
I don't disagree with you. Absolutely
Yes,
not.
as a Bears fan,
Right. Now,
it makes me want to throw up to say this.
right. Now, when it comes to an athletic quarterback, I would think personally the number 2 trait would be vision. To be able to read defenses, know where that defense is coming from, and to be able to adjust at the line when needed. Now, when we're talking about Aaron Rodgers, is he not, I mean, I would say top 3, maybe Peyton Manning and Tom Brady is better.
Yeah, probably.
Patrick Mahomes could be growing in there sooner rather than later,
Yeah.
but those are all teachable and learnable things through game film and sitting and watching and learning. I think it would be a perfect situation. Was I able to mold you over a little bit with that?
Yeah, no, I don't think it would be a bad situation for him to learn behind Aaron Rodgers at any means. But what I mean is like, okay, and I don't know that there's too many quarterbacks that he could sit behind and learn
Right.
from anyways.
That's what I was going to ask you. I was
Yeah,
going to say,
I
what's the best team that he could go on to learn from? Probably Rodgers, realistically.
I
Sit
mean,
behind
yeah,
Rodgers.
out of
And it would set the
non-running
Jets up
quarterbacks,
for
absolutely.
more than just 1 year and then
And the future
57
would
more
look
years.
future would look very better.
You know, one that somebody actually said to me that there's no way it'll ever happen, but because of what's going on in Miami, that Tua actually would be a good person to go behind because he might be the next one out of all the quarterbacks that are top tier.
That's not a bad idea, but
But he's never going to fall that far. You know what I mean?
well, I don't think,
Or
yeah, and
any
I
of
don't
them
think
gonna fall that far.
I don't
No.
think Miami would do it anyways, just because it doesn't make it. They need so much else other than
No, they're so
second
invested in
quarterback.
Tua. Like
Yeah,
you saw with the whole
So quick
concussion
question.
thing.
Minnesota has the 11th pick then.
Yes,
And
correct.
they have 2 picks. Now, in this draft scenario specific,
I believe they're
Caleb
taking a
Williams,
quarterback.
Drake May, J.J. McCarthy, and Jaden Daniels are gone. Does Minnesota with the 11th
Nix.
pick then,
Bo
Bo
Nix.
Nix probably is the
Or
next one off
Penix.
the board.
No, Big Penix. with
because
the
they
purple.
have Sam
Big purple
Darnold,
Penix.
do you
He's not
give
my-
Sam?
No,
But-
that is
but-
a bridge quarterback.
But I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. Absolutely. But with a bridge quarterback, do I have a better opportunity at, per se, Shedeur Sanders next year if I get Sam Darnold weapons this year and build for next year? Because I've got 2 picks in this draft now.
Entirely
Here's the thing.
possible.
Here's the thing.
Yes, sir.
I tell you guys something that's going to piss you off. You
Deion
probably heard
Sanders
it
has already said he's going to Eli Manning the shit out of next year's draft.
But Shedeur
Yeah.
Sanders with Justin Jefferson?
All right.
Hear you.
Have you?
But if the
not playing
Vikings
in
are
the cold.
trash, he's not going to let his son go to a trash team.
Yeah,
And
but
he's not
have you
letting
all
him-
heard the
he's not
smoke?
letting him go to a cold weather team either. He said that multiple times.
Yeah,
if you
he's
play
a-
in the cold, you're
he's a
not playing
goofball.
Shedeur.
What team in the NFL outside of like 5 teams that play down south don't play when it's cold or snowing? They all have to travel.
I really think he's
I mean-
trying to push for like LA or Miami
Yeah.
or Dallas, especially now with the whack Prescott situation going on.
All right.
Um,
Did you happen to see that Deion called his son a generational talent, just like Caleb Williams? That was his direct quote to the media. That's
Of course
pathetic.
He's gonna pump his
Well, I
kids up.
know
about to
he
say,
says it,
yeah.
but the fact that he said it kind of
Well, hell, the
demeans
entire
the
first
demeans the
5
word.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
when he's talking about his kids, you have to take coach hat off and put dad hat on. Like that's
Sometimes he doesn't.
Can't, I know. But as a
We wouldn't either. I would be a terrible
No,
coach if my kid was there either. I'd be the same way.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you have to, as somebody in the media, you have to say, okay, he didn't say that as Coach Sanders. He said that as Shador's dad, because Coach Sanders knows Shador is not Caleb Williams. It's just not.
True.
Like the kid is talented. The kid is probably a first-round pick, especially with Prime hyping him up. But he's not Caleb Williams. He's not.
More than likely he'll be the first quarterback off the board. I mean, because he's going to be seasoned, be a
Yeah,
veteran.
but he's still not. I just think, and I'm not even that big on Caleb Williams. Like I don't think he's the best quarterback in the class for real. I just know
he has the most.
hype is.
He has the best upside. He definitely has the best
yeah.
upside of any quarterback in the draft.
But it also depends where he goes. It's going to depend how that draft order looks like next year. Because I'm like, we don't know exactly what's going to happen this year, this coming up season. Like a lot is going to be a factor. Like nobody knows.
Did you happen to see that? I think it was Schefter and those guys were going through their progressions and they're talking about Caleb Williams possibly that reminds them of a Russell Wilson type scenario. Like as far as like size wise going to the Bears, like his progressions. Like he's going into a team that needs to rebuild. They had just lost the Legion of Boom when he went to Seattle, and they're starting over. They got a brand new offensive line coach or a brand new offensive coordinator. It's like the same scenario again.
To me, Russell Wilson didn't become Russell Wilson until the Legion of Boom, though, right?
That's true. But he still wasn't the worst quarterback.
Well, he had the progression.
Arguably, the only thing Russell Wilson actually did was throw the interception that cost Seattle the game. Otherwise, it was either the defense or Marshawn Lynch. Was Russell Wilson ever really
we've gone through this
Wilson that we think?
Probably
not.
I mean,
I may have been hyping Mr. Russell Wilson way too much. I mean, hearing this conversation and saying this out loud, I'm sitting here thinking, wait a minute. The moment you put the ball in his hands,
that's the same thing. If Patty Mahomes went to Chicago instead of going to Kansas City, would Patty still be this Patty with the Chicago?
I hear that argument, but I think yes.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
Because you can't be that great just because of a situation. You can be great because of a situation, right? But I mean, we're like Tom Brady too, right? I mean, we're talking Patrick Mahomes is probably gonna go somewhere else, maybe because of the owners of Kansas City are cheap, right? I can see Patrick Mahomes ending his career the same way.
He's going to have a Brady type career. He's going to win a bunch of Super Bowls. Yeah, he'll play 1 or 2 years somewhere else. Yeah,
absolutely. But can you be that way if you're not great? I don't think it would matter in the terms of Patrick Mahomes.
We'll never know.
I agree. Now maybe Lamar Jackson and I love Lamar Jackson. I know I'm hard on him, and I know I do. I love Lamar Jackson. I love watching him play. The dude is a dog. He's talented out the ass. But when you get me in a playoff conversation, you're going to hear something completely different.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's that you have all these stats to back up all the reasons why you don't like him outside of the playoffs. So it's like, he's a great in-season quarterback. I call him a great fantasy quarterback. I guess it's the same way, just saying it nicer.
100%. But now let's say, is Lamar Jackson on the? Let's say Lamar Jackson. Me personally, I'm more comfortable like going. Would Lamar Jackson drafted to the Bears have been Lamar Jackson we know today?
Probably, because he's still running for his life, so that would have been his.
Yeah,
you've just been running out of bounds all the time. That's all.
Or would it be a RG3 in Washington?
But they screwed RG3 over there. Like that wasn't even RG3's fault.
And I don't want to compare that situation, right? Because that owner is terrible. Yeah, I guess it is. It's hard to grasp that.
It's
right.
So I mean, because
woulda, coulda, shoulda moments.
The what ifs are real thick.
Well, like think about it. Do you remember who had the 32nd pick the year that Lamar was drafted?
Was it?
No.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
We had just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We traded out with the Baltimore Ravens. we could have picked up Lamar, and Lamar behind a Philly offensive line, that's crazy comparatively, right? Like he would not have had to do so much. So I think if he would have went to a worse situation than Baltimore, does he still become Lamar?
All right. Is he still a
We don't know.
two-time
Well,
MVP?
now actually, damn me to hell, right?
I don't want to do that.
Well, you have to in this situation because I can't put a two-time MVP and go, if he would be on the Bears, would he not be somewhere else? I mean, literally, Patrick Mahomes is great because of Patrick Mahomes. You can't be a two-time MVP unless you're great. So Lamar Jackson would be out of it as well. Let's go Phillip Rivers. I think Phillip Rivers is the best fit for this.
Phillip Rivers is probably the best quarterback. He's going to go in the Hall
Mike.
of Fame that's never won a damn thing in his career.
That's what I'm saying. Would Phillip
never won anything?
Yeah,
Nothing.
that's what I mean. Yeah, would Phillip Rivers have even been in a lot of people's conversations if he didn't
No.
play for the Chargers?
But he had a
Probably
shit ton
not.
of yards, shit ton of touchdowns.
Do you see the vein popping out of Mike's head? He
That's why I
doesn't
brought
like
it. Yeah,
that, man,
because
whatsoever.
I was actually trying to bring him up in a light that brightened Mike, because normally I talk about him like he's the fifth best quarterback to ever play the game.
No, but I completely agree with your statement. Like I think
Yeah.
I think with any success in the NFL, it's situational. Now there are guys. Patty
Right.
Mahomes
Does
is going to be
Drew
Patty
Brees-
Mahomes. But Drew Brees, see, this is why I think
Yeah.
he's
There's
different.
another
too.
one.
I
Yeah.
think he's different too because he succeeded in San Diego and came in and succeeded in New Orleans. So that's different. But
Yeah.
if you say a guy like Jared Goff, right? Let's take Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Jared Goff didn't have the most fantastic career in Los Angeles, right? Didn't get traded to Detroit. Suddenly, he's a legit top 15 quarterback in the league. Like he's a decent, really decent quarterback.
Do you want to know one that always bothered me a lot? Is that you will know this probably more than anybody because you live in Pennsylvania. The fact that there's people outside of Pittsburgh that did not think that Ben Roethlisberger was a great quarterback when they drafted him. Did you ever hear this smoke?
So
they
I live in
hated him.
Texas.
They hated the pick. They hated it.
Well, there's many people in Kansas City who hated the Patrick Mahomes pick.
Yeah. But like this
Hated it.
Pittsburgh one to this day, that he's won him how many? What did he win him? 3 Super Bowls?
2 went to
Yeah.
3.
Two went
Yeah.
to
Went to
I'm like,
he lost
that's
to
well,
Green
all
Bay.
right, okay,
Yeah, he lost to the Green Bay Packers in 2000.
But I'm just saying,
Go.
he was, towards the beginning of his career, like he was a lot better than people expected him to be,
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
and especially for he was a giant, and he was a big human.
All right, we got it right now. How many years do you give Caleb Williams as being a Bears fan? This is like your personal persona. Like, this is the guy that you got. You know they were going to take him regardless. How many years are you personally giving him before you give up? I mean, as a Bears fan, you guys will give him a hell of a lot more than most people probably will.
As a Bears fan, I'm gonna do him like we do any other quarterback. You got your rookie contract.
4
to do
years then?
something. 4 years. Me personally, just as a fan in general, I feel like if we can get 9-10 wins this season and we can stay there and progressively stay within 10 to 12 wins, maybe 13 wins within the span of his rookie contract, extend that man. Again,
Well, arguably, he's going into a better situation than his predecessor was.
And this is the thing.
Oh, yeah.
How many first overall quarterbacks get to go to a team that's already built the way that the Bears are built? It doesn't happen. 9 times out of 10, most first overall quarterbacks are going to one of the shittiest teams on mankind. Like that's usually the scenario.
You have the number one pick for a reason.
Caleb Williams is not going into a shitty built team. The organization is trash as fuck, but the players, he's got a squad to be able to walk into. So it's a different scenario. Me personally, you gotta let you like Charles said a few episodes ago. You have to let this. You have to be patient. You have to let this develop. You have to let this grow. You have to let these players find their rhythm. Like you gotta let these receivers be able to work with him. The line get stronger, build on it, and stuff like that. It's gonna take a couple years before this team is where it needs to be, based off the players that we had.
Yeah.
But the fans in Chicago, we have no patience whatsoever.
No, none. Hell, they're already trying to root for the team to beat the Packers already. I mean, They're already putting
I
that
have
on
patience.
the bullseye on the
I
back.
have patience.
So,
Am I talking
Yeah.
shit in the process? Yes, but I have the patience.
Yeah.
I want
have
this
to.
team to work.
I think it's important too that we kind of put, out into the universe, like all of this stuff is still just on paper. We won't know obviously until the rubber hits the road and they start smacking the shit out of each
Right.
other.
One
But
of the main reasons we're doing this too is longevity.
Yeah.
We hope to build a foundation that allows listeners and ourselves to trust the process as it moves forward. Where
That's
you
it.
can go back and go, hey, we said that this was or that was or this or maybe. So yeah, I think it's working out really well.
Except at a minute 4 to a minute 13, you can just ignore all of that. The rest of it's pretty good. There's 9 minutes where you
Go ahead.
probably
I think
you might want
I'm probably
forget.
chopping up.
Oh no, you're good.
Oh,
Oh, you were hearing me in
see,
delay?
I hear
That was the voice in my head, Charles.
No.
That was telling me I was in delay the whole time.
oh,
That is
no,
hilarious.
I just hear
no, I'm not
sirens.
delayed. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. Oh yeah, you heard the sirens too? Yeah. Welcome to the city. Bastards. They're coming to get me.
Don't
I still
take
think that every
Charles.
single time. It's so,
It was hot here today, so people were burning trash and burning leaves and sticks and shit. And the state's like, yeah, don't burn anything today. There's a burn ban. People are that dumb. They just go out there and burn their trash and stuff in their yards. So we get fires.
God, I hate stupid people.
I truly just don't understand the
And you were absolutely correct. Wilson was right at the beginning of the Legion of Boom in 2012.
Yeah.
So I thought he was drafted in 2014.
No.
When he was,
no.
and they were done in 2018. But yeah,
'cause
The
they went
Legion
to-
of Boom-
The Super Bowl was in 2014 against the
They
Pats,
went 2
right?
years in a row.
Yeah.
They won one against
14?
Denver, and then they lost the next year to the Pats.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think I'm almost certain the Legion of Boom definitely carried that team to that Super Bowl more so than Russell Wilson offensively carried them.
And
I'm not saying that he's a bad quarterback, but it's
Right.
just he was just lucky to be in the system
Right.
that he was
Oh,
placed
right.
in.
Yeah.
And really, that was the year. The year before that was the earthquake that the stadium caused when Marshawn Lynch broke that run and beat the Saints. The year the Saints were like, yeah, that Saints
7-9.
team, yeah, that Saints team was so good. Many people had them picked to win the Super Bowl, and that break, the turnaround, the birth of the Skittles. So I mean, you had those moments, and then you had the Legion of Boom, and then you had Marshawn Lynch. Who, I mean, honestly, that year, I mean, you'll look back and go, man, it's hard not to say that running back that year wasn't the best running back I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
The way he would get hit 9, 10, 11 times before the 10 yards, and then he'd be gone 50 yards.
Pinball machine.
I mean, so then again, you're like, okay, so what did Russell do? Well, specifically,
He managed the
didn't
game.
turn the ball over too much with the Legion of Boom, but did, and the Legion of Boom made it didn't matter.
You
Was
would
he
look
a
at his
game manager?
stats, like in the playoffs. He was always like 12 to 17 for like 175 and 2
Yeah.
touchdowns or something. It was never
So,
like, it was never like lighting the world on fire ever.
No.
What the hell was LA? What the hell was Elway doing in Denver, dude? It's like,
Yeah, I'm telling you that Denver got caught up in Russell Wilson's break tackle ability.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all they got caught up in because,
Sierra
like you
fills
said,
them seats.
yes. If you go back statistically and look at every single one of his things, it's not like he has an 8 or even a 75% completion ratage. Like
Yeah.
the guy has average numbers, but had a literal generational running back, and then the best defense in the NFL those 2 years.
So
Now-
the year that he won the Super Bowl with Seattle,
Yeah.
his average for the playoffs was 174 yards passing.
See?
Okay, so I burn it. There is a literal hypocrite burning on my forehead right now because I remember specifically screaming, "The goddamn 95.0 QBR, you know, fuck it,
And
that's
this is
not a
the
good
funny
quarterback."
thing. This is the funny thing to add.
Maybe
to
Sean
Patrick's-
Payton is a good coach.
This is the thing to add to Patrick's, or it might have been Mike, whoever said it, with his whole passing completion and attempts. Drew Brees in a regular season per game can throw on an average probably between 45 to 50 attempts, sometimes up there in the high 50s.
It never ended. It started at Purdue and it went all the way through the fucking
So this is
NFL
the
his
thing.
entire career.
So in that same Super Bowl winning season, this was his stats: 43 completions off of 68 attempts in 3 games.
That was Russell Wilson's.
For 525 yards
Tom
total
Brees would have
passing,
had that in one game.
his average per yard per attempt was 7.7. His longest was 51. He only threw for 3 touchdowns that whole playoffs,
And they won the Super Bowl.
and they won the Super Bowl that year.
Well, yeah. See, now this is bringing a point up to what Charles said originally, and the whole hypocrite thing is looking a hell of a lot greener on your forehead. There should be dollar signs floating above your fucking head right now with that one.
That's it, dude. I was reading it as it was being written. I'm like, motherfucker.
Maybe
what did he even do?
And so even in the regular season,
Is this not the greatest gift Justin Fields could have ever gotten in his life?
Entirely possible.
Justin Fields is going to be the starting quarterback.
For the Pittsburgh.
Could you imagine that next season? Could you imagine? Oh, that's going to be wild.
I'm going to let Russell Wilson do Russell for 1 year because it's $2 million, and you're going to get me a nice draft pick, and then I'm going to treat Justin Fields the way the Bears should have.
Well, Russell Wilson.
I didn't mean to take that slide at you. That just happened to be where he played. You still got his jersey on the wall. I know you love him. I'm trying to hype him up.
What's Russell Wilson's bugaboo? Like, what's he's ever been injured? What's his Achilles heel as far as like injuries go? Was his thumb? It was always that. Was his throwing hand or was it offhand?
Yeah. Well, listen. Everyone was mad at Denver. Oh, well, look what you did. You didn't want to pay him. You didn't want him to get hurt. I think Russell's the type of guy who would have got hurt on purpose.
Yeah, ego. You think? Not wanting to play there, spite.
I think Denver found out. I think Denver heard a little sniff, and went, "Okay, we're going to beat you at your own game. We got Walmart money."
Smells like a rat. Looks like a rat. It is a rat.
Feels like a rat.
Let's ride somewhere, right?
I'm trying to see what other quarterbacks came out that 2012 draft to compare. Like,
did he ever break the amount of toilets to touchdowns in his house?
Yes, he did.
He did break it. Didn't it take him like the entire fucking season to do it too? I love the fans that were holding the cardboard signs out there, and they would mark one off whenever he scored a touchdown. They would mark off one of the. It was toilets, and they would cross the toilet off. Yeah.
He's got 17, 19 toilets.
Yeah, I think it was 16. I think it was either 13. It was between 13 and 16 toilets.
Dude, is that because he's got a poopy
it's
thing?
Like 40. Dude, it's $45 a fucking toilet seat.
Didn't you? Right, but there was 11 quarterbacks taken in the
$900 in toilet seats.
There was two toilets in their house that faced each other, so him and Sierra could take a dump while looking at each other. Did you hear about that one?
He's only paying $45 for toilet seats. That motherfucker's got to be paying $300, $400, $500 for toilet seats.
Do you think when they wipe,
heated and pristine? And
do you think they look in each other's eyes?
Mike, did you hear what I said? On Barstool, they talked about two toilets that him and his wife could take a look at each other while they're taking a dump. I think this is true. I swear it was on Barstool. I listened to it.
Do they wipe? Do they wipe locked eyes or eyes down? How do they wipe? Locked eyes or eyes down?
They're looking at each other and praying.
Okay, we've officially jumped the shark if we're talking about the way Sierra poops.
I got a question. I have a
Whatever.
question.
Put all poopy pants over there.
Take it where you want it. We're just talking about.
I got a would you rather question.
Yeah.
2012 draft. There was 11 quarterbacks total taken.
Okay.
Russell Wilson was taken 75th. So we're gonna pick. I'm gonna pick the quarterbacks. You're gonna tell me would you rather have him, Russell, or said quarterback? All right.
Or you just want to say high? We could just do higher or lower.
Higher or lower? Okay. First pick overall taken was Andrew Luck that season. Higher or lower than Andrew Luck?
Lower.
RG3.
Higher.
All right. The next quarterback, Ryan Tannehill.
Higher.
All right. That was the next quarterback in. Oh, this is definitely going to be higher. Brandon Weeden.
Lower. You thought the Weeds was the bomb, eh?
Here's the kicker. Personally, I did not like Russell Wilson out of Wisconsin. I thought that Wisconsin, I believe that was the year with Wisconsin had that great running back. What was his name?
He transferred from NC State to Wisconsin, correct?
Yeah. Absolutely. They had a boss offensive line and they had a really good defense.
It wasn't Ron Dane. Who the hell was it?
But watching Big Ten football, Russell Wilson never impressed me.
Well, they had a crazy offensive line at Wisconsin. That they should have won on. They should have been competing for a national championship.
In 2012, they had Derek Strauss, Kevin McCudden, and Jeffrey Lewis.
It wasn't none of them. No. But the next quarterback,
or Monty Ball.
Monty Ball,
yeah, Monty Ball. That's what. Yeah, there it is. I knew he was there.
We're not big Wisconsin.
Dude, that dude was a dog in the Big Ten, and that's what I mean. Russell Wilson was. I mean, in all of the big games, Russell never showed. That's what I remember.
Brock Osweiler.
Higher,
lower,
lower.
I'm telling you, the perception. I'm putting myself back in time. What I know now, definitively
played in
I
Denver.
think I got confused.
They both played in Denver. So.
I would take Russell before Brock Osweiler.
Okay, so then the next one,
I give him this. I give him the edge.
Yeah.
So then it was Russell Wilson after Brock. So the ones these are after. These are ones that have been drafted after Russell. Big Dick Nick.
I take it before.
Yeah.
But that's with hindsight.
Next QB taken after Nick Foles, Kirk Cousins.
Before.
Let's see. I think that's I think Kirk Cousins was the last QB taken in that draft because
Kirk Cousins was at Michigan State.
Ryan Lindley, but I'm pretty sure he's no longer in the fucking league.
Lindley?
He might never even have made a roster, to be honest with you.
Ryan Lindley. Wasn't he?
He played for.
Ryan
he got
Lindley.
drafted by.
Sounds like SMU.
He played. He got drafted by the Arizona Cardinals, but he played at San Diego State.
Oh, San Diego, SDSU.
Ryan Lindley. Yeah, I just
that draft class towards them. I'm like seeing now. Russell Wilson might be the most overpriced mid quarterback that we have in the league right now.
I'm telling you, I think
Daniel Jones.
I think it's the Sean Payton effect. I think it's the Sean Payton effect. I really do. I think you had the Nathaniel Hackett shadow coupled with the Sean Payton effect, and you've got this. And you've got the conversation even louder now in a spiral around a gentleman who has only performed when the system allowed him to perform, and whenever he took the reins, it always failed. Period. Sean Payton sat him because Russell Wilson was doing things Sean didn't want him to do. And then the organization, blah, 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 conspiracy about the Payne thing. But arguably, it was like, hey, I need you to do this. And he's like, no, I'm going to do this.
I think the best thing that he had in Seattle, though, in his early years, the success that he had outside of the defense, he had a strong offensive line, which allowed him to stay on his feet. But when he's having to make decisions, it clearly in Denver it showed that he struggled with making those game time, like in the moment decisions. What am I going to do?
Even the Fail Mary was an interception.
Can I make one funny
comment? The only
comment?
Successful moment.
I want your take on all this. This actually comes from the coaching tree, but this is something that I just noticed because I saw a picture the other day, like a meme, and of someone, and I couldn't. You guys are gonna piss yourself when you hear this. Okay, so there was a meme going around on the internet about Belichick. He was wearing the hoodie, the Washington Huskies hoodie, because Steve Belichick is now the defensive coordinator at Washington. Do you remember the meme going around when the dude was like licking his fingers and picking his nose and like doing the face? Is he gonna do that shit at Washington? Are we gonna get to make fun of him when he's in the Big Ten?
Is he? He's just a DC, right? He's not the head coach.
No, he's the DC, but we're gonna see him on the sidelines.
Yeah,
he's gonna have the freaking walkies on, and he's gonna be doing the weird shit. He's a weird dude. How did he get that job because of Papa? Did Daddy get him the job? He was a dog shit freaking coach in the NFL.
He didn't do shit when he was in New England with his dad.
I know he was terrible, but
probably
his dad did what Alavila should have done.
The only reason I brought that up is because you were talking about coaching trees, Charles. This guy came from that guy. Is that why there's so much clout around this guy? That's the only reason I brought it up.
No,
he's part of the Belichick coaching tree.
Well, the thing is let's talk about the Belichick coaching tree. Who's been successful that's been off the Belichick coaching tree?
Is McDaniels the closest thing to it?
The dude that went to KC, the Cromell, I think might be
Romeo?
I think this.
Cornell?
I think
I think he might be the closest one that had.
Yeah,
any
because
type
the
of
modern,
success.
there's not a
But these-
success story
These
out of
other
that
bums
coaching.
that
No,
come out
because
that
they didn't
country
leave
trash.
either. They stayed there for a long time.
McDaniel, all boo boo trash.
here it is.
I know. The
Who?
dude that went to go to Notre Dame. Was it Weiss? No, he was the big white dude. He was like,
I know who you're talking about, but
what's his name?
I don't know how much success he had.
I'm like, he was good at Notre Dame, but I'm like, outside of that, it was.
That's what I'm saying. Like for me, if you really want a coaching tree to look out, a modern day coaching tree, I think the best one, undisputedly, hands down, is the Andy Reid coaching tree.
So you want to know, if you Google the Bill Belichick coaching tree, the Athletic says, why did the Bill Belichick coaching tree produce such dog shit coaches?
Here's
That's from the Athletic.
Yeah,
but it doesn't
I agree.
Say dog shit. It says
no, I
terrible.
agree. That's why.
Well,
That's
but
why.
say dog shit.
I think this is the comment right here. Are you ready for
Okay.
this?
I'm
I think
ready.
this is the best answer for that. I think Belichick's coaching tree isn't going to be acknowledged until after the success of Gerard Mayo.
Yeah.
I think Gerard Mayo is going to be the pawn that becomes the queen or king, or however you want to talk about this, on this chessboard. And I believe that
Well, how long was he
Mayo's tree is what's going to be successful, but Mayo will forever be linked to Bill, which will then shine a different story later on down the road. But I agree. I don't think that there is really
there's
one
not.
right now.
Because think about it, like Andy Reid's a Mike Holmgren guy, right? Like that's where his coaching started. And now think about all the successful coaches from Andy Reid. I mean, Doug Peterson is a Super Bowl winning coach. Like Frank Reich, he was on that staff that Eric Bieniemy's been a successful coordinator. Like you have this coaching tree now.
Yeah.
How many?
And they
people
call
go
Mayo
off?
Belichick Jr.
Yeah.
I mean, they did it when he played. They do it now as a coach. I mean, they call
him Belly Jr.
Yeah. I mean, when anybody needed something from Bill, they would send Mayo. Period.
Yeah.
Like Mayo's the only one who could talk with.
He's
Bill.
He's a really young coach, right? He's
I
only
think 35,
30,
something like
35.
that. 38.
I just Googled top coaching NFL tree, right? Just because because I'm curious as hell.
Oh, come on now. There's
And-
some bad ones in there.
Bill
Right.
Parcells is number one.
No, actually, Bill Walsh is number one. But this is the
Okay,
thing.
yeah.
Before I went to that list,
Yeah.
right? I'm just scrolling, just looking at, clip notes. This is why I hate Wikipedia sometimes, because these fuckers are retarded. Anybody can edit shit on there. This motherfucker said, I seen the question, what is the most impressive coaching tree in the NFL?
Yeah.
Guess what they said?
What?
Did they not? They didn't say Bill Belichick, did they?
The Bill Belichick tree, unsourced material may be challenged and removed.
No.
Right. But they said the Bill Belichick coaching tree is by reaching at number one with nobody as a close second. Bill Belichick's long tenure career as an NFL head coach has 17 assistant coaches under him gone to become head coaches. Just because they became head coaches
I was about to say
doesn't mean they were shit.
All right, I am going to
record.
run through their records in the players and the coaches real quick for you. Al Groh, 9-7. Nick Saban, 15-17. Romeo Crennel, 32-63. Eric Mangini, 33-47. Josh McDaniels, 20-33. Bill O'Brien, 52-48. So it's Bill O'Brien. Matt Patricia, 13-29. Brian Flores, 24-25. Joe Judge, 18. Well, that's a 10. 10-23. Brian Dabble, 11-14. So, yeah, it's Bill O'Brien.
Well, hold on. What about Mike Vrabel? Mike Vrabel's not on that list?
He's not on that
He wasn't
list.
an assistant. He's a former player.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He's
He's
different.
not.
he's
He
never
didn't
a
come from
coach,
that
yeah.
coaching tree.
Yep.
But I mean,
That is
if
interesting.
that's how they want to spin it, if they want to spin it as in he
Because you
had the
created
most coaches
jobs,
become
yeah.
head coaches.
Cool.
Sure, he's a
How many head coaches have you had come out under you that are
sure. If
actually
you want to,
Now I believe it even more.
like
Yeah.
that's ridiculous?
Yeah.
I mean, because think about
I
it,
believe
right?
the Gerard Mayo piece
'Cause-
even more now.
Yeah, because think about it. Andy Reid has had not only Doug Peterson.
Andy Reid's gonna have a
spawned
few when he's done.
He spawned Frank Reich. Frank Reich spawned Nick Sirianni. That's in that line, just the Eagles line. 2 Super Bowl 3 because of Andy Reid. 3 Super Bowl coaches in just that line.
5 years from now, where do we put Mike Shanahan?
Yeah, Shanahan's tree is pretty freaking
Because
crazy.
Shanahan's tree is going to have his son, Matt LaFleur, Mike Daniels. I mean, the list goes on and on. That's
Dude,
just
that
off the top
he's
of my
coaching
head.
Atlanta. What's his name?
Oh yeah,
What is his
man,
name?
he just he was he had his last head coaching position was Tampa Bay. I know you're talking not D'Amico. Anywho,
Yeah, you got Shanahan, you
Raheem
got
Morris.
Raheem
Raheem
Morris,
Morris, yeah, Raheem
Gary
Morris,
Kubiak,
You basically
Sean
have the
McVay.
whole Washington,
Sean McVay.
the whole
I mean,
Washington coaching staff right now
Yeah.
at this current moment are all head coaches in the NFL.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
shit.
forgot.
Yeah,
about
I mean,
McVay.
I'm telling you, I mean, Mike Shanahan.
Mike
I mean,
Shanahan
you're talking.
literally has 5 head coaches in the
Yeah.
NFL right now that are actually successful.
Mike Shanahan might end up having the most coaches go on to win Super Bowls. I mean, it's going to be hard for anyone to convince me right now that Matt LaFleur and Mike McDaniels aren't going to win a Super
So
Bowl
will
in their
they
career.
ever reconsider renaming that the Shanahan instead of the Lombardi?
I don't know. I don't know about that. I think that's way too
The
early. But
reason-
if what we're talking about pans out, I think it's a
The
conversation.
reason I say that is because the award in women's college basketball was not always known as the Don Staley Award. It was
Yeah.
known as something else.
Yeah,
and granted, as good as she was,
You go 38-0 and 3 national titles
You
back
can
to
make-
back to back.
Well, technically 3 and 4.
well, I know, but I'm saying that would
Three and
be
But that's
like
still
what
impressive.
the Patriots won. Were wasn't they the last team to repeat?
No,
To
well, outside of
three-peat,
the
Well, they
Chiefs.
won.
Yeah.
They won. Well, yeah,
They
but
won
didn't they?
2.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, didn't they win 3 and 4?
Yeah, they won
and
3 and 4.
arguably
Tampa Bay
women's
won 1 and
basketball
1.
that might be not as difficult as a feat because UConn did it. I believe Tennessee did it. We were probably
The
going to see
competition
some,
is getting better. but
honestly,
yeah, I
we're
understand
probably
what
gonna
you're
see
saying.
some-
Yeah.
You're
what if
talking.
South
You're also
Carolina
talking
does
about.
it next year?
You're also talking about legacy programs.
Yeah.
Pat Summitt, the UConn. That coaching tree has been legendary, and I think if Don Staley goes back to another natty and wins it 4 out of 5, she's the best women's college coach.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Ever?
Gino did it too, didn't he?
Yeah, Gino did it. Gino might have won like 6 or 7 championships.
I'm
I
not
think.
Gino is the
say-
first
UConn won a
one
shit
for
ton.
back
So did-
to back since
So
Pat.
did but you want to know the sad thing is, I believe the Tennessee
disagree.
Vols coach was actually coaching 2
Pat
of those
Summitt.
championships with cancer. So that's even more
yeah.
impressive.
Yeah,
Pat-
She was
I'm
doing,
not sure it was-
doing treatment while she was freaking coaching. Did
I'm
she
not gonna-
play? She played at Tennessee, correct?
I don't know.
Or she played somewhere.
I'm not going to say
thought
that
she was-
Don Staley isn't going to go down as probably the GOAT.
It's too early right now.
But it's
Give her
way too
3 or
early.
4 more
However,
years.
what she has going on right now, like it's stupid impressive. And
What is it? 76-1 right now they are. The only loss was to Iowa in the Final Four last year.
Like that,
And
what she's doing in
Pat-
South Carolina is ridiculous.
Pat Summitt played college ball at University of Tennessee at Martin. So an
Oh, okay.
offshoot
So
of UT.
we'll say she's a Tennessee girl. She's a Tennessee
Yeah.
girl.
But Pat Summitt, man, that's a whole different thing. I just there's something special going on with Dawn Staley, and I think obviously she's coaching in an era where women's sports are getting more exposure and getting more viewers, and you have a different like when Pat Summitt was coaching, nobody was watching the fucking women's NCAA finals. Nobody was. Nobody cared. But now Don Staley's you're reaping the reward of you're reaping the benefits of having legendary coaches before you. So I just think that Don Staley, she may never go down as like the winningest coach of all time. She might, but I think she's definitely the new face of women's college coaching. For
Exactly.
Sure.
The only thing that I think bothers me, Charles might actually agree with me on this one. You two probably won't because you probably like this, but I don't like the lack of parity in women's college basketball. There's too many back-to-back champions. Like it's dominated for all 4 years by one team.
I'll tell you.
It has been this way
what,
for like 20, 30 years.
I absolutely agree with you.
And that was before NIL.
However, I was just recently at a girls AAU basketball tournament. My niece, she's on the traveling team, and so she was playing here in Appleton this weekend.
Shout out.
Yeah, wonderful job, ladies. But I don't I don't mean to be that guy, but in order to paint this conversation correctly, I will be. I did not expect entertainment. I expected the joy of watching my niece play. Mm-hmm. And what I got was
Both.
an abundance of entertainment with the joy of watching my niece play. There was a lot of talent, and they're playing like, I was telling my sister, I was laughing. I was like, if they would just go out there like they play against their brothers, it would be, because when I was like, Sophie beats the hell out of all of my nephews. She beats the hell out of them, right? And then she gets out there, and I'm like, where's that same intensity? Yeah. And then all of a sudden it started coming, and it was magical. I'm telling you, I had a great damn time watching this AAU's back and hearing all of them talk about one shot from I swear it was NBA 3-point. Put a little bit of leg into it, she would have swished it, right? Everyone is like, well, you got Caitlin Clark out there, right? It's like, hey, if you make that shot, the coach doesn't take you out. You miss it, the coach takes you out. Yeah, it was fun, but it was very entertaining. And my point of bringing this up is that I think that it is going to become much harder in the women's game to do this repeat, because the competition is growing, and this backyard ethic is out the window, and these women are playing like it's more, and I love seeing it. I'm actually very excited.
I hope, but I've yet to see it. It's been dominating like this for the last 25, 30 years.
The one thing that I think it's helping women's basketball, especially in college, particularly compared to the men's basketball, is that one, they make them stay for 4 years. So you're seeing these faces on a continuous. Yes. You can't go into the draft.
Really? I swear there was a junior.
It's one of the rules. No. They have to stay 4 years in college before you can enter in the WNBA draft.
Because Caitlin Clark would have been in there 2.5 years ago, easy.
And Juju wants.
Well, then how come they're talking about Angel Reese is only a junior? They're talking about her going to the draft.
Junior. She's been in LSU 2 years. The last
See, this is that bullshit that I was talking about Charles about earlier. This might have been the argument that the guy had. He's like, what the hell?
2 years before LSU, she had 2 years in Maryland.
Yeah.
So
she
having to stay there is building the relationship with the players and the coaches, which is making women's basketball so dominant. Because we were wrong. I just checked the stats. I did a Charles. Did 2 years, 2 championships in the last 3 years. She has 3 titles with the Gamecocks. But in the 15 years that she's been there, she's 440 and 106. She's got an 80% win rate. Like, that is ridiculous. In 15 years, you've only lost 106 in the regular season, and in the tournament, you've only lost 55 games to 199.
Her train
is ridiculous.
Yeah, her train could not have any more coal put in it, and it would run around the world twice.
I hate to say this. I want to see a woman college basketball coach try to transition into the men's game, because I feel like there's not that much difference.
I don't think there'll be any difference, to be honest.
I don't think so either. I think
it's a mindset. It's about can you run plays.
I know exactly when this is going to happen. That will happen as soon as Becky Hammond, who's the most deserving WNBA coach, gets a head coaching opportunity in the NBA. I think because Becky Hammond, regardless of the personal bullshit that has never been proven about her, Becky Hammond is the best coach in the WNBA. She needs to get a head coaching at least opportunity in the NBA, and then college will follow.
But would that hurt the WNBA?
It's not going to happen. No, I don't think so. I think because then you have a chance to have NBA level coaches go down to not down. I don't want to say it like that, but go over.
But I guess that's what I meant. But does this continue to hurt the perception around the WNBA if that were to happen? Like Dawn Staley leaving college and not considering the WNBA and going right to the NBA. That would be a great story, but would it hurt the WNBA?
I think that would, but I think Becky Hammond has won two back-to-back championships with the Las Vegas Aces.
So what about this? What about this headline if that happens? Becky Hammond dominates the WNBA, decides to take on the challenge of the NBA. I think any way you write that, you're putting the WNBA on a pedestal below the NBA?
No.
Yes.
No?
If you use that headline, if whoever you're writing for lets that
Right.
headline go,
LA Times
it's
does a pretty good job. So.
Yes, it's 100% running down the WNBA as comparatively. But if you have a decent person and you write Becky Hammond, 2-time WNBA championship coach, wants a different challenge in life or something to that effect, wants a different challenge.
I like that.
And seeks NBA money or seeks
However,
NBA challenge.
Here's
Instead
the problem.
of denigrating the WNBA.
We would all write that. There's people that aren't going to write that.
Oh, I concur, and that's the clickbait.
This is
The only thing with the challenge
these are
word.
the assholes, Mike, that live out there that think that they can degrade people and women and sports and all this stuff. There's a shit ton of them, and they're at every sports place. They're not just. We don't even have to name networks. We could just name places. Each one of them has their own little asshole that writes these articles. Charles even mentioned it with the LA Times. They do a great job.
They do a great job.
Fantastic.
With what Mike said, all of us can agree with the phrase that Mike said. It paints a different narrative to where it doesn't look negative. However, it's the one word. I need a different challenge. So you're saying the WNBA ain't challenged?
I think anywhere you put that challenge.
So that's
it's no different than you quitting your job and you saying, "Hey, I need a different job because I hate this."
Some way, job. Somebody's gonna spin it as a negative narrative,
yeah.
And it's gonna annoy the shit out of me.
Even if Becky Hammond does an interview or a think piece saying that the WNBA has the greatest competition amongst women, it doesn't matter. You're right. Somebody's going to spin that as a ridiculous way to take a shot at the WNBA. So I love you guys. I gotta head out because I got school to finish.
Oh, you're good. You take care of your own.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you. We love you.
I love you too. We'll see you guys later.
I think this is the perfect time to start wrapping it up. I think that allows us some good talking points moving forward. A future episode soon. Charles and Patrick battle out the Jackson Churio. What was his name again? I'm sorry, it's an afterthought for me.
Jacksons. It's the Jacksons.
It's the Jacksons. Okay, so it's the Jackson Churio. Okay, it's the Jackson Holiday. Thank you. We'll be battling this out soon. And of
there's
course,
9 minutes of me talking to myself. So
of course, we're going to bring up. I still think we need to do a mock draft. We're approaching. I know that we've given our top 10s. I think maybe this week we collectively talk in the group chat and we come together on a group mock draft.
I think what we do is
we doing it collectively or separately?
Collectively.
Let's do it collectively. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. The entire draft will be drafted.
We'll do
each one of us goes around the table and we give our choices and we'll do a vote.
Absolutely. We'll do a draft simulator.
Okay.
And we'll pick all the teams, right? And then we'll do
one by one picks the pick.
Absolutely. We'll have 2 or 3 minutes to discuss each pick and what we think we should do.
Yeah, we'll
and
put
the number
that draft
is
simulator right in the freaking middle.
Yeah, and the number's 3 to 4. We've got to get to 3 to 4.
Okay.
Right? So that allows for discussion, but a majority rule takes the pick.
Sure.
With it.
Okay, so if we do 2 minutes, that gives us each 30 seconds to either confirm, deny, or
make our case for whatever pick.
Absolutely.
We want.
So we'll dig that out. I think that's going to be the show, unless something crazy happens in the sports world this week. Which I mean, we do have the NBA. That shit's all going
up.
Big news: Milwaukee versus the Pacers in the first round.
Knicks
that's
the second seed. That's
Knicks too. Knicks snuck in there. The old sneaky.
So we'll probably touch a little bit on that during the week.
The draft is 11 days away, guys.
11 days away. So we'll probably do that episode pre-draft, and then we'll have our draft episode.
Are we doing that
Thursday?
live?
Yeah, Thursday night.
Yep. So we're having a few more live shows coming up here, rolling into draft day. That's very exciting. We love you all. Also, both of us, everyone here, we're doing giveaways. Check the shows for those. There's T-shirts. There's rules and descriptions all over the YouTube. We care about every one of you. We appreciate all of you, and the world is a much better place with you in it. Smile more.